The heck was that? Okay. All right. Thing here. There we go. We're going to be fixing it in a minute. Friday night politics. I do have some topics, but uh, this is going to be kind of an open forum. So we're going to let this show go where it may. So, but we do have some topics because things have been happening today. So we'll talk about it. But give me a second to get everything going. And good evening to all of you folks that are beginning to tune in. Some of you folks. First, who says that Vincent? Who was that? Vincent in the comments says first. Yep, Vincent LaCroix, good evening to you. Give me a second. We're almost there. If I can get my last device, which is not cooperating to work here, but we'll get it going. We'll make it happen one way or another. You guys know how we do. Sometimes you gotta patch shit up together to make it work. Sometimes everything don't always want to cooperate, but we're gonna get it to work one way or another. So Friday night politics. This is the time when you get to literally dictate where you want the show to go. If long as it's political, kind of a sort of ask anything type of night. Even though there's a few big stories in the news that we got to talk about. One being Virginia. Virginia has went by way of the conservatives. Virginia rolled back that huge gerrymandering deal. So Republicans are very happy about that. So we'll talk about that and a couple other things I want to run by you. Let me see if everything goes right here. If this last device comes up, and we should be able to get started momentarily. And I don't think we are going to get started momentarily on YouTube because it's starting to already tell me that something is off here. I don't know. What the hell is it saying? Rotate? No. We'll give it a second. Let's see what happens here. If not, we may have to start something up on YouTube again. But YouTube looks like it's fucking up. But good evening to you folks. Welcome. Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Friday night politics is as exactly as it's stated. We're going to have an open forum, and it's where where the viewer gets to dictate the show. Now, as always, when I have these open forums, the one thing I often want to know is what can be done in your humble opinion, whether you're in the comment section or whether you're a caller. I will be asking, what do you believe that can be done to make the show better, more entertaining, more thorough, more educational, because there is some education here. Thank you. Wow. Blue One Bank starting it out right. Thank you very much for the Friday evening galaxy. Appreciate that, Blue One Banks. So the show can be everything from entertaining to educational. And we just always want to make sure we deliver a decent product. I enjoy having you folks here. I often get educated by many viewers, left, right, and indifferent. A lot of you folks tell me and teach me things that I didn't know. And hopefully I can somewhat repay the favor occasionally as well. You know, because there's a lot of folks who see things that are shown on this show that maybe they didn't see or didn't know. So there are no know-it-alls. Understand that's the way this show is designed. There are no know-it-alls in the audience. All of us can learn more. There's nobody here that knows every damn thing there is to know, including yours truly. So we don't ever portray being a know-it-all here, and we don't entertain anyone trying to take that upon themselves. Nevertheless, we do want to make sure the program is entertaining. Alter ego, yeah! Appreciate the hat mustache. So a few things happened today. Like I said, we're going to have a free-for-all. So it's up to you. This is where you can guide this show in whatever direction you want to. Because this is going to be one where you can ask anything you want. We want to keep it in a political sphere. I don't want somebody asking some dumbass questions like, you know, why the hell you so black? That kind of bullshit. So we want to keep it. We want to keep it political. We want to keep it political. So we'll leave it at that. My opinion on different things, or if you want me to ask other viewers questions like, what do your audience think of Biden? Or some shit like that. We're willing to do all of that today. We're going to have a free for all, but there are topics. There are things that did happen that I want to discuss as well. And I'm certain the show will be covering this as well. I'm going to give you a couple clips here. Apparently, okay, there we go. I was thinking my audio was down, but one thing I want you to hear, and like I said, we're going to take this show any direction it can go. But and somebody in the comments says I can't read it clearly. Is that a MAGA hat? Yes, that is a MAGA hat. The hat says the MAGA hat you see behind me says "Make America Great Again." So there you go. You a handsome devil, Tim. Appreciate that. So here's one thing I think is certainly worthy of talking about, because this amounts to really, really big news. It's such a big story that I even took the clip from MS Now, and I don't normally play MS Now clips, but you probably heard this because the Republicans are celebrating this.
We have major breaking news on the redistricting fight between Republicans and Democrats nationwide. The Virginia Supreme Court just struck down the new Democrat-friendly redistricting plan that voters just approved at the ballot box a few weeks ago. Let's bring in MS Now's legal affairs reporter, Fallon Gallagher, and this ruling just came out. I know you're still reading in. Fallon, what are you learning?
Yeah, there were a few cases pending before the Virginia Supreme Court, and this is the first one that happened to reach it. So the Virginia State Supreme Court has struck down the new congressional map that was approved by voters on the basis that the special legislative session that was called to create this map was a violation of the state's constitution. And I want to read from a key.
So I'll just stop it there, but you hear what happened is they were saying they had gerrymandered Virginia to the point where it was going to be 10 Democrat seats to 1 Republican. So that was a lot. So this is a big loss for the Democrats, albeit temporarily. Understand, everything goes as much as it can go nowadays, So, and I see somebody in the comments says the Virginia Attorney General isn't done with the case. And yeah, I'm sure the Virginians are going to try to find a way to get this back, but November is pretty damn close to try to do so. Here's the point I want to make in regards to this whole thing. No matter what side of the aisle, and I know the Republicans are celebrating rolling this back. I get it. I understand it. Democrats would be celebrating it too if it was the other way around. But here's the point I want to make is, no matter how the midterms turn out, regardless if the Democrats win seats or the Republicans maintain the House, you're going to have a lot of people on both sides believing that they got cheated. There's no way around it at this point. Once President Trump told the state of Texas out in public, I want 5 more congressional seats, it became obvious that this election coming up in November is, for the most part, fixed. Now, we can go back and forth on who started gerrymandering, whatever the case may be. But because they are openly admitting their gerrymandering, both sides are getting cheated. Even if you're on the winning side, you still it's still a really good chance that your vote was cheated. Let's say, for instance, the Republicans hold the majority in November. So let's say the Republicans win the midterms. You're still going to have a hell of a lot of Republican areas in various states due to gerrymandering that went blue. So yes, your side controls Congress, but your neighborhood is now being represented by the opposite side. So your neighborhood may be blood red, but your congressman or woman, due to this gerrymandering shit, is a liberal. So even though you're happy your side won the midterms, you now have a liberal representing a conservative neighborhood doing a bunch of shit that you don't want. So the point I'm making is, it doesn't matter who wins, everybody could possibly lose. It's as simple as that. Everybody could possibly lose. There's a hell of a lot of conservatives, MAGA, in the state of California. California is not an all blue state. Outside of the coastal areas in the major cities, California is blood red. And a lot of that's going to be represented by Democrats now. Austin, Texas is the most progressive state in the Lone Star State. In Texas, Austin is the most progressive state in that progressive city in that state. That's now expected to go red. So very blue progressive Austin citizens are now going to be represented by Republican congressmen or women. So it doesn't matter if you win or lose, you could lose. And the point I guess I'm trying to get at is this is the stuff of civil unrest. This is the stuff of conflict. Because let's take the example I gave, where you live in California, or you live in Illinois or New York or some of the Democrat areas, and you live in a part of that state that is blood red, but your state is now gerrymandered so that Democrats get more seats. So that even if the Democrats lose in the midterms, maybe the politicians in your state are now very pro-trans, very pro-LGBTQ. They could be very much in favor of shit you don't agree with. So you can still lose big time because of what has happened. Also keep in mind in the midterms, you're not just voting for your congressman or woman or senator. There's a whole lot of down ballot races you're involved in as well that are specific to your area. So there's a whole lot of other shit if you're a conservative or you're a Democrat that you may be concerned with that now may go the other way, even though your district leans red or leans blue. All types of bills and all of that. All of that stuff's fucked up now. All of that stuff is messed up because of this. So while it may be pleasing to the folks on the right or even the folks on the left to know they have a chance of winning the midterms, think about all the down ballot. This is not just a national election. There's a whole lot of things that are specific to your area that's going to be in this. So if your area has been gerrymandered, that means your area may now go in the opposite direction locally. Could be anything from books and libraries you don't want, civil rights for folks, the trans, or maybe you want limitations on the trans, whatever the case may be. All of that could come from this. The stuff of civil unrest. It goes, look, at the end of the day, President Trump, our commander-in-chief, is doing what is in the best interest of President Trump. He's not concerned if your local area goes to the opposite of what you wanted. His concern is maintaining power at the national level. This is going to cause problems locally, and you'll hear about that no matter who wins. Anyway, continuing on, we'll certainly end up talking about the Virginia gerrymandering thing because it's a big topic. Elon Musk is in the news. Turns out a federal judge has ruled that Elon Musk and DOGE used factors such as race, gender, and other protected characteristics when they were chopping folks' access to federal grants. They used keywords to make decisions that they were not supposed to be using. I'll see if I can find my own personal receipts to this, but a federal judge has ruled that they did the naughty.
Federal judge has ruled that Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, unlawfully carried out massive federal grant cuts tied to the National Endowment for the Humanities. Judge Colleen McMahon said DOGE staff used race, gender, and DEI-related keywords to target grants, calling the process unlawful and outside DOGE's authority. The ruling blocks the Trump administration from moving forward with the grant terminations. Depositions revealed former DOGE staffers used terms like DEI, LGBTQ, and equity to help identify grants for cuts, though one admitted the effort did not reduce the federal deficit. Nonprofit groups behind the lawsuit are celebrating the decision as a victory for humanities research and free expression.
So they were literally targeting members of the LGBTQ community. They were literally targeting them. Wow. This is the guy who, it was supposed, people were accusing him of being racist and all this shit. And, obviously the right was denying it, but now you got a judge ruling basically saying that's exactly what they were doing. Wow, Elon, my heart goes out to you. Last but not least, we're probably going to end up getting into the idea of political violence. I'm just going to make it clear. That's probably going to come up in this show because of the gerrymander. So I did put that down as a third topic. But this is a free-for-all tonight. This is what we refer to as Friday Night Politics, where we're going to have an exchange of commentary, hopefully to continue making the show entertaining, somewhat educational if we can do that, where I talk about the good, bad, and indifferent. You can offer your complaints, comments, and compliments. We're taking all of that shit. So that's what the show is about. Good evening to all you folks. The show will remain MAGA friendly in its entirety. Always have been MAGA friendly. Always will remain that way. Liberals are welcome as well. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. So understand you're going to hear stuff from all sides of the aisle. Could be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. In the comments, Negro Gorilla says, bring Straight Talk up again. I need someone to laugh at. I don't even know if Straight Talk is watching the program. Listen, Straight Talk is normally an enjoyable conversation. He's MAGA. He's far-right MAGA. He's stated that Trump's face should be on all four spots on Mount Rushmore. He really loves Trump. Fair enough. I enjoy talking to him. We don't agree on a lot, but I enjoy talking to him. Last night, he got crazy. I don't know what made him go off like that. He literally just crashed out. Maybe something was going on in his life. I don't know, but he crashed out last night. He's on his own with three people that watch his show. I've been on Straight Talk's program sometimes, but like I said, I don't know what happened with him last night. That was a little bit different. You should have the handsome conservative on more often. He is a humble man. Really? Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Straight Talk versus Gangsta Grandma. That would not be entertaining, if you ask me. Because both of them, certainly if Straight Talk acts the way he did last night, it's just two people talking all over each other, lobbing insults at each other. That's not entertaining, at least in my opinion. Perhaps some of you folks do like it. I'll give you an example. A lot of folks favor having Gangsta Grandma on the program here. I don't mind her coming up. In fact, I favor having her come on as well. But let's be clear. If I treated her like she treats me, we would get nowhere. If I just talked all over her and lobbed insults back at her at the same energy, it's not entertaining. It only works because I kind of give her the leeway to speak. But if you put Gangsta Grandma and Straight Talk together, that's not going to happen. I mean, so it's just going to be a bunch of people yelling at each other. In the comments, I want one of these Republicans in here. Tell me what has Trump and Pete Hegseth accomplished in Iran. Wow. I can answer. There's a few things that they've accomplished in Iran. They haven't accomplished their goals, but they have accomplished a few things in Iran. The Ayatollah is no longer with us. Let me go back to the box. Not to say his son is going to be any less, but the Ayatollah is no longer with us. Let me go straight to the box. Tap the screen. I'm taking a call early, but get us up to 15,000. Help your boy out. I tried to bring up Nathan, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get him. So tap the screen, get the likes on up. It will go to the next caller momentarily. I don't know what happened with Nathan in the comments, but it didn't bring him up. Looking in the comments here before we move on. What did he do last night, says Larry? He wouldn't stop talking. It was like he wanted to just talk and talk and talk. You know, some people come up and they just want to make their point and they're not interested in hearing the other side of an issue. That was him last night. So he said a few things. I let him speak. And then when I tried to question or counter, he just kept talking. So it got nowhere. It was just him talking constantly. Even to the point where I'm reading super chats from the comments and things like that. And he's talking over that as well. It just was nothing. What I have to go back and listen said, yeah, you can go back and listen to it. It's certainly on yesterday's live, which is on YouTube. So it will be civil unrest this year. Wow. I'm getting pretty damn tired of all the bullshit myself, the blatant in-your-face crookedness going on is wild, says CBOG Kush on Substack. He's saying it will be civil. By way of yes or no in the comments, are we at 10,000? Tap the screen, get the likes up to 10,000. I'll take the next caller. By way of yes or no in the comments. Or no, not yes or no. Let's do it like this. Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being there will be violence. What are the likelihoods you think there will be political violence this year due to the gerrymandered election? Where everybody knows ahead of time, a lot of people's votes don't count. I mean, the minute Trump said, I need 5 extra seats, and they did it, that means in the state of Texas, they already know what's going to happen. Your votes don't really count. Scale of 1 to 10, how likely is that to lead to political violence? And the same thing is happening in liberal states as well. In California, everywhere they're gerrymandering, they're kind of letting you know ahead of time, your election is fixed. It's rigged. They've done it ahead of time. So a lot of you folks believe pretty high numbers. Wow. I don't think nobody is saying 0. A lot of you folks say, well, one person I see said a 4. That's the lowest I've seen. Wow. That's scary. That's concerning. Well, if it does happen, that means it's probably going to be at the polls as well. It could happen at the polls as well. That's frightening. Are we at 10,000? We're getting close. I'll take the callers. There was a reason why they did it in California. Yeah, they're citing because of what Trump did. But you're still, cheating is cheating. I mean, you're cheating as retaliation, but you are cheating as well. Going to the box, we'll start it out with MAGA reacts. Duke says nobody is doing shit. We'll have to see. MAGA, good evening.
Hey, I said 0, by the way.
So you don't think there's any chance of any political violence?
No, only if there's like a close election somewhere. That's the only chance. Kind of like January 6th, because it was such a close election, everything mattered. But if it's a fucking wipeout in either direction, we'll be fine.
Well, but you're talking about on a national level, like I was mentioning earlier.
I'm talking about any level. If it's a close election, you might see some violence because the other side's going to think that they got cheated.
Well, I mean, but what if even if, let's say, for instance, they put you in a district with a major, let's say you live in in a rural area that's blood red, but your state gerrymandered for the Democrats, so they added a huge, densely populated part of a liberal city to your area, so that now your blood red area is destined to go blue, which could affect all of your down ballot shit. Like maybe certain laws you voted on, whether or not a tractor could have the far right side of the road or stuff like that. And all the stuff you normally would be okay with, your people would be okay with, is lost because of the gerrymandering. No chance of any violence.
First of all, this is like federal gerrymandering, not state gerrymandering. What you're talking about is all state shit.
No, that's actually not true. If they gerrymander an area, everything you vote on in the midterms, that whole district is connected with that.
But are we talking about federal or state?
We're talking about all of it. All of that's in one. If your district goes blue, when you go to vote, you're voting on all of that stuff.
No, but the state districts and the federal districts, I don't think they're the same.
No, I don't understand.
You know? And then as far as the federal districts, Congress has fucking been useless for the last 20 years. So I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. The only time it'll make a difference if it's like
You're literally the only person I've ever talked to that's saying this gerrymandering won't make a difference. The president seems to think it'll make a difference. So the president's wrong? He seemed to think it'll make a difference.
Oh, it'll make a difference for him because he's trying to pass shit. But for like me and you, it's not going to make a difference because, I mean, most of the things that affect us are on the state level. And most of this shit we're talking about is federal.
So you're telling me if you're in a blood red area and all of a sudden your congressman goes blue, that won't make a difference at all?
Not really.
So why even have congressmen?
I mean, it matters on the big level. It matters on a macro level. So it matters when it comes to passing like the big fucking retarded bill or whatever you want to call it, or the the inflation increase bill that Biden passed. It matters on that level.
I don't think you know how this
It
works,
doesn't
man.
matter as far as
You're gonna tell me that it makes wait. According to you, so in other words, it makes no difference if you're who the hell's reporting you? We got somebody reporting you, man. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make. So you're telling me it makes no difference if your congresswoman is AOC or Marjorie Taylor Greene? Doesn't make any difference, huh?
Not really, to be honest with you. I mean,
do you know how politics work?
Yeah, I mean, look at what the Congress has. How many things has Congress passed this year? Barely anything.
You literally said it makes no difference if your congresswoman is AOC or Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I mean, the overall number matters, but like individual, like it only matters if it's close. If Congress, one side has it, I was gonna say, if one side is close to the other, if Congress is like almost 50-50 and one vote matters, then it matters. If the Democrats have the House outright or the Republicans have the House outright, then it doesn't matter.
This is somewhat painful to hear you say this, considering how long we've been talking. But when you think about all the money Marjorie Taylor Greene raised for Trump and how much money AOC raises for the Democrats, that makes a huge difference. When you think about all the stuff they bring to their areas that leans far right or far, if all of a sudden Marjorie Taylor Greene's district suddenly had AOC, some of them folks would jump off a bridge and slit their throat on the way down. That would make a huge difference. For you to say that makes no difference at all is insane.
It makes people feel better. It makes people feel better to be represented by
That's not true. That is absolutely not true. You realize how many votes? You realize how many votes Marjorie Taylor Greene brought Trump? How much cash she brought Trump? How much cash she helped other Republican congressmen and women get?
We're talking about just passing laws here. We're not talking
all of this matters.
And all this other shit. And MTG could fundraise without being a congresswoman. She's just as popular now, and she could still do all those things if she wanted to. Yeah. And in some ways, she's more popular now. She raise more money now than she did before.
Is that well? Based on what you're saying, I really clearly see now why you believe there will be no political violence. I mean, you don't sound like you understand the system. Is there anybody that agree with him in the comments? Is there anybody that agrees with what he's saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene's district could have AOC and it wouldn't matter?
If it was a state map for the state Senate or the state Congress, those are the people that passed those capture laws you were talking about. But for regular Congress, I mean, as long as your side has the majority, that's all that matters. And if they don't have the majority...
No, it does not, because your congressman or woman will often go out and make deals to get specific things to that area. That congressman or woman has to answer, well, what have you done for your area? So if you got a level...
If they could, like, break a tie or, that's only in that rare situation.
What is the job of a congressman or woman in your opinion?
I mean, right now they used to represent but nowadays they just go with the party.
What is their job? I didn't ask you what they're doing right now. What is their job?
Their job is to represent you and vote on the way you want, but they hardly do that. Once they're elected, they do whatever the party wants.
So
and before they're elected, they promise you all this shit, but they really don't fucking deliver most of the time. Unless they're a tie-breaking vote. If they're a tie-breaking vote, then sometimes it could get you some shit.
So if they're doing... So why do you think people really like their congressmen and women then? If they're doing nothing and it don't matter, why do people like them?
I mean, they want to feel represented. And in a way, in the overall, like, team, they matter. But as an individual, like, area, it doesn't really matter.
I'll tell you it is.
And for the record, I think everything's been rigged in the Democrats' way this whole time. I mean, what we're doing is probably unrigging it or rigging it more toward Republican, but it's rigged toward more Democrats because it should match, like, how many people in Congress should match, like, the senators we have in the Senate, but they don't match it. It's like 50-50 in the Congress, but we have a majority in the Senate. That tells me it's rigged toward the Democrats.
Well, according to you, it don't matter if it's rigged or not. It's meaningless.
I mean, it doesn't mean what you think it means. it means something. It just doesn't mean what you're saying.
I don't know if I've been talking to you. I don't know what it means at all. You pretty much said if you could go from AOC to Marjorie Taylor Greene and no difference, it's meaningless at that point. That's far left to far right, and you're saying that is meaningless to the people in that district.
Yeah, it means a lot for the country as a whole, but it means nothing for an individual district because there's very little that congressman's going to do to actually make any changes in the district. But
I think every congressman and woman, if you ask them, hold on, if you interviewed every congressman and woman, all 200 or whatever, 500 or whatever the number is, if you interviewed them, I'm sure they could give you things that they have done specifically to their district that somebody from that opposite party would not have done. It matters a lot more than you're saying it does.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter as much as you say it does.
You said it don't matter at all.
And the way you were talking about tractor laws and that bullshit, it didn't matter at all. But as far as like overall picture, it does matter, but it's not gonna. Let's go like this. You just said it. There's like 500 of them, and we only know like a handful. We only know like the names of 5 or 10, like AOC and MTG and a few of them. If they mattered, we would know all their names.
No, there's only 2 senators per state, and we don't know most of them either. I mean, they're known in their state. They're not. If you're not.
Again,
what?
Most of them don't matter until it's like time to be the deciding vote on a certain thing when it's a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I just think you're just not paying attention to this. I'm really surprised you're giving this answer. I didn't expect you to say something like this.
They only matter when they go against everybody else. When they don't go with the fucking group. And most of them go with the group.
CB says he's so damn dumb.
I mean, it's like what's his name from West Virginia that was fucking up all your votes when Biden was president. What's his name?
Say that again.
The guy you always mention.
Manchin? Senator Joe Manchin,
He's one of the few that mattered because he actually went against the party. But most of them just go with whatever the party wants. So most of them don't fucking make a difference.
I'm telling you, congressmen and women...
Manchin made a difference. That was like the rare occurrence where it mattered.
Congressmen and women can control all sorts of things in regards to infrastructure projects in your area, whether or not a stadium. Congressmen and women have a lot more power than you're giving them. It does matter. It matters a lot which party your congressman or woman leans. That matters a whole lot more than you're suggesting it does.
Yes and no. I mean, the state ones matter a lot more. The ones that pass all the state laws matter. The ones that actually decide the tractor law that you were talking about earlier matter more.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it at that. I don't have much else to ask you because you answered that in a way I never would. I mean, that's like trying to talk about arithmetic and you're stuck on.
Most people are not going to notice unless like you're a mansion where you're like going against the grain. Most people are not going to notice the difference.
Yeah. You're gonna notice if all of a sudden you're in a blood red area and they start putting liberal congressmen and women in your area, you're gonna notice it. If both your congressmen and women and your senators go blue and you're in a blood red area, you're absolutely gonna notice that. And it's not just gonna be at the national level. You're gonna notice that on shit locally because there's such a difference in how the red and blue thinks right now. I don't know why you think you're not gonna notice that.
Because before Trump, nobody ever cared or noticed. It's only recently now that we're paying so much attention, and we weren't paying any attention to any of this shit before Trump.
That's about the only thing I'll agree with you on in this conversation because Trump does draw people into politics. I mean, he makes things divisive. He's in the news every day. He's drawn more people to the political arena than anybody I've ever seen in my life. He does do that. But everything else you said, I disagree with.
I'm telling you, like John, what's his name? The guy on HBO with the glasses.
Bill Maher. Bill Maher.
No, it is. Is it John Oliver? Yeah, John Oliver did the whole show of how like the Senate isn't really that important. That the state matters more because they pass all this important shit. But nobody ever pays attention to who you're voting for statewide.
Well, according to you, gerrymandering is not going to make much of a difference. I just think that's crazy.
I mean, it only matters when it's a close game, like any other election, especially like federal elections. It only matters when it's close. So if the Senate if one side has power and it's like one person deciding, making the difference, then it matters. Or even if it's like 3 or 5. But overall, most of the time, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I got the folks in the comments. I got folks red and blue in the comments. Nobody agrees with you on this. You're the only person I've ever heard say something like this. So I'll leave it.
I mean, you're making a big deal about it. And
because it is a big deal. It is a big deal.
It matters more for motivating the base than actually like the effects of it. You know what I mean? It's a good way to motivate the base to go out and vote.
Yes, a lot.
Anyway, there's 2 things I want to mention real quick. The other day, the whole argument those 2 Bible people were having, I don't know if you understood the difference between the 2. The conservative guy, the conservative grandpa, he was basically saying you pretty much have to believe in Christ to go to heaven, while Arsha, the other girl, she was saying that no, you just have to be like one of the religions that uses the Bible, so you have to be Muslim, Christian, or Jewish to go to heaven. And that was the main difference between the 2, because they didn't really explain it that well.
Okay.
So he was basically saying you have to believe in Christ and be a Christian to go to heaven. She was saying, no, you just have to be one of the 3 religions that believe in God, the same God, being the God of...
I can't speak on it. That conversation is in the past. I don't, like I said, I'm not very religious. And by the way, she's in the comments. In fact, both of them are watching the show. And she's in the comments right now saying, that's not what I said. I said color. I said anyone who seeks God in his heart or her heart can go to heaven. So she's disagreeing with you right now.
Anyone who follows the book, and you insinuated that the book being the religious books of the Muslim Christians and Jews.
Well, she just clarified her statement, so I don't know what else to go. What was the other thing you had?
Whatever. She said the book. She said it. Kitab. Kitab is just Arabic for book.
And Handsome Conservative said, he who believeth in me, in the one who sent me. We said, he who believeth in me, believeth in the one who sent me. So they both were responding to you.
Correct. So I'm just dumbing down what they said. I'm not trying to change it.
Oh, you dumbing it down real hard today. You really dumbing it down. What is the other thing you want to talk about before we move on?
The last thing, for the last year or so I've been on here, Gangster Grandma and all them, they're always saying that they're not going to let you eat at their table. And I never really, I understood it, but I kind of misunderstood that shit. I thought they're talking about their dinner table. Now I'm starting to think, is this like prison talk? And they're saying they're not going to let you eat at the prison table because, people in prison, they don't mix races. So is that what she's talking about?
I don't know if I've ever heard her say it. I don't remember hearing her say it, so I can't speak on this. I don't know.
She's always saying that shit. Like, they're never going to accept you in their table. And I'm like, I just want to eat at my table.
What she is saying is, a lot of folks will say that Black MAGA needs to understand, no matter how much you support Trump, they're never going to accept you. So in other words, they're not gonna invite you in their house. They're not gonna invite you in their club. They're not gonna let you eat at their table, is what she's saying. Like,
but that's more of a prison thing, because in prison they never let you eat.
Okay,
like
well,
part of one gang, the other gang will never let you eat at their table.
Well, it means the same. It means the same thing, though. It means the same thing, though. You're not going to be accepted by this group, no matter how much you kowtow to them. That's what she's saying.
Yeah, but there's prison and there's real life.
It's the same shit. I mean, what do we argue? It's semantics.
You have the prison mindset.
What she's talking about has nothing to do with prison. Nothing at all. It's just a slogan. That's all it is. I don't know why you're trying to go with prison with this shit.
And I think the origin of that slogan is prison.
Who cares? Who cares where it came? You know what it means.
Because it's like your mindset.
Who cares? We know what it means. We don't care where it came from. We don't care about our mindset. We care about what it means.
It's fascinating if it is prison related. Okay. It explains a lot if it's prison related. Because in prison, they don't let you. You could get killed for eating at somebody else's table. But in real life, we eat at each other's tables all the time. I eat with everybody, all races, all colors, all people.
You make me feel like I'm talking to Betty White's character on the Golden Girls. I don't know why are you even asking these questions? I don't know why you even
being a little philosophical with you, since you were talking so much religion the other day.
I gotta move. I'm gonna leave it like that. You're playing the part of Chrissy on Three's Company at this point. Let me move it on.
I'm not old enough to I know the reference, but I don't know the reference. I've never watched the show.
You need to figure out the reference because you're living up to it. I gotta go, MAGA. Thanks for coming
Have a
through.
good night.
All right. Tap the screen, folks. Get the It's prison mentality. All right. Tap the screen. Get the likes up to 30,000, if you will. Thank you for the hat and mustache there, Sexy Red. Appreciate that. Thank you for the love. Can't even afford McDonald's in a Great Depression. Even McDonald's CEO would have been struggling. Well, I don't know if you're talking about the economy with somebody. We're not in a Great Depression, but we're not being delivered the great economy that Trump promised either. And I'll tell you this, there's no way in hell MAGA would have agreed that almost 2 years into Trump's term, we would be where we are now economically. I don't even think they would have believed we would be at war. They certainly would not have believed gas would be, threatening $5 a gallon in many places. And we're not just talking about California, so don't just run to California like you like to do. The price of fuel is hovering near $5 a gallon in a whole lot of states. It ain't just California. But it is what it is. I mean, Billy says we should be eating at home more. So because Trump's economy is fucked up and people can't afford to eat out, instead of challenging why the economy is so bad, well, maybe you do need to eat at home, huh? You know what that sounds like? Your kid only needs one doll for Christmas. Maybe your kid don't need 3 dolls. Or what did Trump say? You don't need 30 pencils. You only need 2 pencils. Under the Biden administration, all of this stuff was a disaster. Under the Trump administration, suddenly, well, maybe you do need to kind of cut back, huh? All right. Tap the screen. Get us on up to 30,000. Looking in the comments here briefly. That's not a prison thing, idiot, says Jake. I don't know why prison even came up. I just don't even know. That was kind of irrelevant. American people is who thinks like MAGA reacts is why America is spiraling downward, says Kelbrew. All Americans don't think like that. You should have seen my comment section when he was saying this stuff. All Americans do not think like that. So just understand that. Sexy Red, thank you for the support. I was surprised. We'll go to Takesha Bowie. Good evening, Takesha. Welcome to the program.
Man, listen. They left me as confused as a dog who said meow and a cat who barked. I am totally confused after that conversation, Tim. I just want to just run in the middle of the street with a sign that said, hit me now. I can't. I just can't, Tim.
I wasn't expecting it. MAGA reaction normally comes a little stronger than that. I was not expecting him to say your congressman or woman doesn't matter. That was a shocker.
Then what day it don't matter?
He's the only person out of everyone I've talked to, out of every post I've made, every newscast I've watched, he is the only person I've ever heard say that. Never heard anybody else say that.
Because it makes no sense. Why would they?
I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe he believes it, though.
Tim, stop. No, he don't.
King Finn says maybe MAGA reaction needs to stop reacting.
I feel like MAGA had some of that ganja and came on to the show after. Next time, come down off that, my boy, before you come up in the box. But anyway, Tim, listen, Tim, did you hear Trump yesterday when Trump said that gas has come down substantially and the stock market is at the highest? Tim, when did gas come down substantially? Because out here in Alabama, it's 409. And I went to Chevron yesterday, and the guy behind the counter said, hey, my friend, he said, I want to let you know that we've already been informed that next week gas is going to be $5. And I said, what?
And then how much is it right now?
409.
You've been informed that next week gas is going to go up 91 cents?
The guy that I talk to every day in Chevron, because he be laughing at me because I come put about $5 in my son's tank because I just be going to the store and coming back home. He said, I want you to know, my friend, we already got the word that gas was going to be $5 next week. I said, I know you lying.
91 cent increase in a week. I don't think that's true though, Takesha. I don't think it's going to increase that much.
I'm just telling you what the man told
I don't.
me, Tim.
Well, I mean,
we didn't think it was gonna get as high as it is, Tim, and it is.
A 91 cent increase in less than in a week's time would probably be a record by a lot. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of the country. In 1 week.
Listen, I was just telling you what the man at Chevron told me. But I tell you one thing I did do. I tried to take a picture of the gas. I put my phone up to the sign where the gas shows, and it started blinking, right?
Okay.
And when I snapped the photo, no numbers were in that picture.
That's common with an LED display. That ain't a conspiracy. LEDs blink at a rate that your camera they're not at the same rate. So if you take a photo with something that's LED, it's common for it to blink like that. That's not the conspiracy.
Because I was like, do they not want me to let people know how high the gas is?
I get what you're saying.
See, you see how you explained that, and I accepted it, and I didn't go back and forth with you, Tim. That's what you do. When you don't know something, and someone tells you something, you said, thank you, Tim, because I didn't even know that.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that.
See how simple that was, Tim?
Yes, it was. Well,
See how I didn't go back and say, you know them light bulbs in that. I didn't do that, Tim. Because you told me something that I didn't know. And what that lets you know, Tim, everybody doesn't know everything.
Well, and that's what I said at the beginning of the show, but I will say this. MAGA Reacts, my last caller, has kind of admitted that he feels his job is to defend Trump no matter what. So sometimes he will defend Trump from an aspect that makes no sense because the goal is to just defend him. He's kind of admitted that.
But my thing is why? You don't defend your children on everything because your children are going to do some stuff that's not right.
So you mean
to tell me, huh?
Some people do defend their children when their child is clearly wrong.
I don't. I'm not that type of parent because you know what those parents end up doing? Setting their children up to think everybody going to give them the excuse, and then when they get in trouble, they want somebody to help them get them out. Yeah. You created that monster.
Yeah. I've seen people argue with teachers and the cops against a child that was clearly in the wrong. And by the way, MAGA Reacts in the comments stated the reason he does that, defends Trump no matter what, is to explain Trump to us. So he says to explain him to you.
Baby, you can't explain Trump to us, and Trump can't even explain Trump to us. Melania can't even explain Trump to us. Nobody can explain Trump when Trump can't explain Trump. So, baby, just let it go. Get you another argument, sweetie, because that ain't the one that's going to help you.
I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, if a person, I'm with you, just like you mentioned in the example with your children. Wrong is wrong. I mean, I don't care if I voted for somebody. If they're fucking up, they fucking up. I'm not going to defend the person.
I'm not going to just go along with everything you do just because I voted for you. That makes no sense. That means that I'm not my own person and I can't think for myself. That means that everything you think, I got to think. So that takes me from an individual to a fan. I'm no longer a supporter. Now I'm a fan because everything you do, I love it.
Well, that's kind of what we're dealing with now, Takesha, though. Is a lot of voters.
We got fans.
Yeah, they're fans. A lot of voters are fans now. They're not.
Now we over here trying to see about gas and food, and you want to talk about paint and reflection pool. Tim, what they got? Tim, how that's helping us? And then you're going to get mad at the reporter because she asked you, with everything going on with Iran and everything, why are you focusing on the paint of this reflecting pool? Tim, how is that reflecting pool helping us? Why is you going around Washington like you Bob the Builder trying to redecorate Washington? How is that helping us, Tim?
Well, first of all, Takesha, just in defense of my president, in defense of our president, you need to stop being selfish. Everything ain't about you. Understand, President Trump's in office. It's about him. He's doing what he wants for him. Quit trying to make it about you.
Tim, he got in trying to act like it was about us. Now you gonna get in there and act like and show us it was all about you the whole time.
Yeah. Have you seen him do anything to indicate it's not about him at this point? I mean,
no.
Yeah, it's about him.
MAGA can tell you they have.
No.
MAGA ain't getting no more than us, Tim. They in the same boat we in, with the same hole in the middle, trying to hold a hand over it to keep the water from taking us down. They just don't think they in that boat.
Well, no, because MAGA is invested in the victories over the liberals. So even if MAGA's struggling, making the liberals cry is a victory to them. They can live off of that. Even if they're damn near homeless, watching liberals cry will make them feel better on the street. That's what they're living off of.
But Tim, that's the sad part. You struggling, barely can't make it, but you smiling because a liberal is upset. How is that helping you?
It's helping them smile. Sometimes it's about smiles.
And your teeth falling out, you can't even afford the dentist, and you right here still smiling because a liberal upset. Stop it. Tim, you know what I did yesterday? I kept hearing people talk about Marco Rubio ears. So I pulled a picture of it up. Tim, that man ears are bigger than the beautiful bill. Tim. He probably hear our conversation right now. Tim.
That's your next president. Be kind.
Tim. We're going to be in 2030. He going to be talking about it now. He going to hear what's going on in 2030 and 2026. That's just how big his ears are. He could be an extra for Dumbo.
He could also be your next president, Takesha.
Not with them ears, Tim. Please not. We ain't gonna even be able to see the podium when he talk, because his ears gonna be covering up the podium. No, Tim, he need to do something about them ears, Tim. Just cut them down or something, Tim.
You do understand that they used to say Obama had big ears.
They wasn't that listen, compare
Obama ears. Is his ears that fucking
Obama
big?
ears are not big, they sit out. Marco Rubio ears take up his forehead and everything, Tim. They're real big, Tim. I know he get a discount on the haircut because his ears taking up most of his sides.
You need to stop it. His ears ain't that big.
Tim, stop.
They not.
Tim.
I'm trying to bring them up because I have never noticed this. What you're talking?
Pull it up, Tim. Pull them up, Tim.
They're a little bit larger than average, I suppose.
Maybe they larger than life. Look at them.
Well, he can hear really good.
Tim, look at him, Tim. They take it up. They say, Tim, look at his ears, Tim.
I never noticed that, to be honest with you. I never noticed
Tim,
that.
I'm embarrassed for him. Look at him. They bigger than them shoes Trump bought him.
But what if he is a good leader, though?
Marco Rubio is a good liar. Marco Rubio stood up there and said the people over in Iran are tired of seeing their protesters get unalived in the streets, and they want freedom, and the freedom to say what they want to say and do what they want to do. And I said, is he talking about the U.S.?
I'm not going to say...
You know what I'm starting to think, Tim?
What's up?
I'm starting to think that this administration is living in reverse land.
You're not the only one. I've heard that by plenty.
Yeah, whatever's going on, they live it in reverse.
But think about it. What is the slogan? Make America Great Again. So obviously they're talking about sometime in the past. So yeah, that could be.
We ain't living in the past. Tim, you got to live in the time you in now. Gas has not substantially went down. What day, Tim?
I'm just telling you, maybe making America great again has nothing to do with gas prices.
The ceasefire is still on, but y'all bumming each other. Tim, come on.
People are very happy with him. And I see the comments. Kel Bruce says his ears are so big he gets the NFL package without a cable provider.
Kel's so weak, man.
Y'all need to stop it. Listen, at the end of the day, I normally would speak out more against it, but I mean, if Michelle Obama's a man and Biden is sleepy, look, you can't have invited it. That's what comes with it. I mean, both sides do it, I suppose, so it is what it is. But this might be your next president.
I don't care. The waxing from his ears could drown a nation. Anyway, Tim, what else we talk about?
This is an open forum. Now we're pretty much just letting the show go where it may. I want to hear things like. Let me ask you this: you're a good person to ask this question. I'm taking compliments, comments, and complaints. We want to make a better, more entertaining show. Give me some input. What can make this show better?
What can make this show better, Tim, is you got to stop that fluffing. Tim, you fluff more than a pillow top mattress. Tim, it's just getting out of hand around here.
There is no fluffy, Takesha.
I'm about to rename you Serta. Because you just do too much, Tim. Let me tell you what you do, Tim.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to tell you, because I don't think you even paid any attention. When somebody say something that Biden did, that Trump is now doing, you always got a reason Trump is doing it. You never have push. Okay, say when I said, well, he's sleeping. He talked about Joe Biden being Sleepy Joe. You said, well, the man be up all night. He up all night, and that's why he's falling asleep. I'm like, oh, okay, Tim. You everything Trump, you always give him excuses.
Well, I mean, Trump does hold a much more stringent schedule than Biden.
And there you go. You don't know what Joe Biden was doing behind the scenes, Tim.
He was sleeping.
Stop that.
Biden was sleeping.
That's why we said you're MAGA.
What? MAGA?
You never have.
MAGA calls me a lib. MAGA calls me a libtard. I get called a libtard from MAGA on every show, and then the liberals are saying I'm MAGA.
I'm talking about on your show. If we try to say something about Joe Biden, you got pushback. If we say something about Trump, you got positive pushback.
That's not true.
You got negative pushback for Biden and positive pushback for Trump. You do it every day, T.
Do you realize how many of my MAGA viewers say I have Trump derangement syndrome and I wouldn't like him if he cured cancer?
Tim.
I'm listening.
They lying to you, baby. They just want you to put that head up a little higher. They lying to you because you sound just like a blagger when you on your own show, Tim.
What? Debo, thank you, Debo. Thank you. Debo, appreciate that. That makes me feel a little bit better from what I'm hearing here. We don't, listen, if Trump does something that is favorable, we give him credit for it. I'm sorry, some liberals don't want the man to get credit for anything.
You give him credit for stuff that ain't favorable. Well, he's only been in office, such and so and so. And then I'm like, hey, well, Joe Biden, when he got in, he was, we were coming out of C-19 and the gas price was high because we went, into the war. Well, every president, whatever happens under that president is that president's fault.
That's true.
Well, Tim, hold on. Well, Tim, the gas prices are high because Trump went and invaded, it went and invaded Iran. Well, now let's just give him credit now. Before he did that, gas prices were low. I'm like,
but that's true. That is true.
But you never come back with a positive for Joe Biden.
How about this?
Never.
I do. Paul Sauce.
Tim, you love Trump. That's your idol.
I don't love
You want to be Trump.
Listen,
you want to be Trump.
But a man is.
Yeah, that's why you got that orange shirt on. You want to be as close to him as you can. As long as that orange is on your skin, you think you're Trump.
Listen, the man is very powerful right now. He has an amount of power.
He's powerful to you. He's a weak man to me. Anytime you whine and cry about people talking about you, you're weak. You're simp. A comedian can't even crack you without you wanting the person fired. You're a simp.
He doesn't like the disrespect.
Here we go. Come on with it. Come on, here it come. Come on with it.
Takesha, you are mean. Listen, at the end
say
of
what you were finna say, Tim. It's coming. Here it comes. Say what you were finna say.
I don't even remember now.
Come on, sweetie. Say,
I forgot.
You said, well, the man. Come on, finish it, baby.
I forgot, okay? I don't.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, you was finna get ready to do it. What I told you do on here every day. You give him a reason for everything. What a man doesn't want anybody talking about it. Well, guess what? Whoop the damn do. Who wants somebody talking about them? Nobody. Well, but ain't nobody trying to go sue nobody, get them fired, because they talked about them.
Well, Vince Jackson.
They talked about Obama real bad.
That is true.
He didn't do none of that.
Well, Vince Jackson in the comments says, the caller works with Jasmine Crockett. She's just hating. So someone is saying that you're a Jasmine Crockett plant and you're just a hater.
If I was working for Jasmine Crockett, I wouldn't be on TikTok talking to you heifers because I had the money I need to go on vacation and everything, baby. So I've never been a plant for anybody. I'm my own person. I say what I want to say, and now I say what I don't want to say. So, Vince, I don't even want to get taken down today, Tim. I ain't going to even say that about Vince, but Vince, I'm going to get you. you know I'm gonna get you. But I don't want Tim's show taken down. So what I'm gonna do, Tim, is get out your box. Cause I really want to get Vince told today. But I don't want your little live taken down. Let me go and get down, Tim.
All right, Takesha, you drive a hard bargain as usual. Always a pleasure talking to you. There is no fluffing on this program. Thanks for coming through.
Man, pillow top. Go on, sir.
All right, let me move it on. Thank you, Takesha. Moving on with the program, by the way, tap the screen, make it happen at 54. And that's what may happen on the show. We do want to hear advice and compliments, comments, and complaints on how to make the show better. So this is Friday Night Politics. We're wide open. We are going to be talking about the Virginia gerrymandering gone a bust, and a host of other things. Okay. So we're going to be talking about a few other things on the program as well, but we're open for suggestions tonight. We are open for suggestions tonight. So looking in the comments, I'll help you. What could make this show better? Be a calm Republican. I can be calm. I generally am calm. Let me go to the box. We'll go to Kim Madison on Instagram. Doesn't matter. The Supreme Court will uphold it. You're talking about the gerrymandering thing. I don't know. Like I said, I was surprised to have MAGA react saying gerrymandering don't matter, though. That really threw me for a loop. I was really surprised to hear him say that. We're trying to bring up Instagram. I guess, but I guess did not come up. Stop bringing Gangsta Grandma up on your show. Peace and Lover says, if I stop bringing Gangsta Grandma up, my show would be awesome. You know, the crazy thing is, me and her have had, some really strong back and forth, if you've probably heard, of course. And there was a couple of times where she got so angry at the show, particularly at its host, that she stayed away from the show a day or two. I had folks writing me like you need her on the show. We miss her. Handsome Conservative was even saying you need her. So there are folks who don't like Gangsta Grandma, and there are folks who do like her. So she has a big audience. And I'll tell you one thing I'll say this one, this also. I don't get asked about any guest more than Gangsta Grandma in my personal life. People know me, and not much. I'm not like any big time, well-known celeb. I'm not even going to pretend like that. But there are places I go. I've been recognized a few places. And then, of course, my family watches. Some friends watch, some coworkers watch, and her name comes up a lot. So there are people who don't like her, and there are people that do. So I'll leave it at that. Looking in the comments here real quick, you tap the screen. Don't listen to him. You leave Wheezy alone. There you go. That's Handsome Conservative on Clapper talking about her now. Hey, what's up? From where I'm looking, seeing red, says Tom. Well, in the comments, tap the screen, by the way, get us up to 50,000, and we'll go ahead and continue on with the program and make it happen with Mike the boss. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program.
What's good, young fella?
Not much at all. We're having an open forum. Obviously, we're talking about the gerrymandering in Virginia that's been reversed. Elon Musk has been ruled to be a sexist and racist and homophobe by a federal judge. And I'm just simply, but Trump said he's done more for blacks since anybody since Abraham Lincoln. So you don't think he would have appointed a racist, do you?
Oh, how would a racist appoint a racist? What a novel concept. Well, so let me get this straight. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. So a judge, based on whatever evidence the judge had, came to the conclusion that Elon Musk was the very things that would be associated with the files and the Trump administration and allegations with Pete Hegseth and Matt Gaetz. Is that what you're saying? And Brett Kavanaugh?
Well, a judge, I had the actual quote, but he basically said, he used words like blatant, what did he say? They were using race, gender, and other protected characteristics is what he used, which is probably your sexual orientation and things like that, to do the largest termination of federal grants in U.S. history. So a judge ruled that. Because they bring up the Southern Poverty Law Center, And the Southern Poverty Law Center is only at the allegation stage. That hasn't been ruled on by a judge, and they view that as the gospel truth. This was ruled by a judge that this guy was doing this shit.
Are you surprised?
My heart goes out to him.
I asked you, were you surprised?
My heart goes out to him. That's all I can say. No, I'm not, because Elon Musk has done a lot of things, and we've had a couple of whole shows on him of him going and telling the people in Germany that the time has passed for them to apologize for what Hitler did. I mean, there's a bunch of things that Elon Musk has done to show, obviously the white South Afrikaners claiming that they were victims of genocide, just making up shit. He's done a lot of stuff to indicate what direction he is. So no, it doesn't surprise me.
Can I ask you a question along these lines? And you ever had ants in your house? You ever had ants?
Not where I'm at now, but I've lived. Shit, I grew up in the projects. I've seen everything that don't belong in the house.
Right, but ants in particular. When you see a trail of ants in your house, what do you do? What's the first thing you do?
If you got money, you call an exterminator. If you don't, you go buy some Raid.
Yeah, but before you do that, you follow the trail of ants, so you try to find the source of what is attracting them.
Yes, fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
And then once you find the source, you have to deal with the source, right?
Mm-hmm.
How come, thank you, MAGA Reacts. I'm glad you answered that, MAGA Reacts. Man, the timing couldn't have been better. So if we look at these ants, when we talk about Elon Musk, and we talk about Peter Thiel, and we talk about Steve Bannon, and we talk about Stephen Miller, and we talk about Kevin Roberts, and we talk about Russell Vaught, and we talk about all of these people and we talk about the Proud Boys and the 3%ers and the Oath Keepers and all of these. When we look at who they're following, and we get to the source, that tells us what attracts these people with their ideologies to their source. And what is their source, Tim?
I just say right-wing politics.
Nope. I'm not going to let you do that. Are you worried about this getting clipped or something?
No.
I'm literally saying, and again, I'm using that analogy because it's really just an analogy.
Well, if you listen to people on the right, Joe Biden was a racist and the Klan is attracted to him.
Again, if they could show me a trail of that directly back to him, I'll listen. But that's my point, Tim. That's why.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at, and just being candid, I'll say what you're asking for. It goes back to when David Duke originally stated, when Trump was running his first time, that if you don't vote for Trump, it's treason against the white race. David Duke, back then, 10 years plus ago, saw Trump as delivering a racist agenda, and he was trying to say it back then that if you don't vote for him, you're kind of going against your own race because this guy's going to be beneficial to your race. And that's kind of what has happened since he's been on the scene, is the David Duke types have favored Trump. That's kind of exactly what has happened.
Absolutely. So I follow the trail back to the source, and it tells me everything I need to know about the source. It's just simple. It's just simple. If I don't have the source, the ants aren't there, right? When I remove the source, the ants no longer have a reason to be there. They're going to go find another source.
Yeah.
That's who our president is. When you have this certain type of people, this MAGA, this hardline MAGA and the far right's following him, why would I be surprised that Elon is adjudicated to be that from a judge? Well, that's not surprising at all. He runs with, it is what it is, Tim.
Yeah.
I try to simplify these conversations as much as I can so we don't get into the weeds.
It's crazy because everybody thought because Elon was the owner of Tesla that he was some bleeding heart liberal. He was just trying to make money. But everybody thought Elon Musk was a liberal.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. Yeah, he's a capitalist. That's what he is. He's a racist capitalist. It is what it is. He's gonna take his money, because what that judge was talking about was when he came into DOGE, he immediately went after USAA to stop those investigation.
Let me interrupt you. Just say this because this is what I thought. I'm gonna give this one to you because I think it's somewhat comical, but this I believe the individual making this comment means this. Tom Cornell says President Trump did not know David Duke. He was mistaken for Bill Clinton.
No, Jesus Christ. I guess he didn't know his daddy was racist either. I guess he didn't realize that. Listen, again, those are the ants that I'm talking about, Tim. Right? You see, that's what I'm saying. These are the ants. I'm glad they're responding because if what I said, if you don't agree with what I said, you're one of the ants.
Yeah. Let me just say, David Duke was a politician. He also ran for president of the United States. President Trump was at the Clintons' wedding. You see all the photos of him and Epstein together. I mean, Trump ran with Clinton. So just the idea that President Trump would mistake David Duke for Bill Clinton is insane. He hung out with Bill Clinton. Bill, even to this day, with all the Epstein shit, with all the lock her up stuff at Hillary, he still ain't said anything negative about Bill Clinton. Trump knows exactly who Bill Clinton is. He's not going to mistake him for David Duke. Don't look nothing like Bill Clinton. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd. I'm gonna tell you. And so you asked about suggestions for the show.
Sure.
I have a suggestion. This isn't. I don't care who the person is. Every now and then, maybe on Fridays, you run a co-host. It don't matter what side of the aisle they're on. Just run a co-host. Just on a Friday.
I haven't found anybody. I have to find somebody. Certainly, I would love to get some right-wing co-hosts because you know I like talking about MAGA. Gen X would make a good co-host. He's civilized. Or straight.
Well, like I said, you can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you to who to pick. I'm saying just every now and then, on a Friday, I'm gonna run a co-host. Yeah. And then you have a co-host.
My boy, the handsome conservative would be a good. Okay, fair enough. That is one I may be open to if I can find a few viewers that would want to co-host on a weekend. We could do that. Could absolutely do that.
And the reason I say that is because you can be on the right or the left, independent. It doesn't matter. It gives you, that you have that time where maybe you and your co-host are just talking, and then you bring somebody up. But they just have to know that as a co-host, you have to follow the host's lead and not be all over the damn place. I don't believe Straight Talk has the ability to do it. I don't. I don't believe he has the ability to do it. I listened to him earlier. I only see his live because y'all take y'all ass in there. You'll go in there and Stick will go in there and so that's the only time I see him, but he doesn't want to have a conversation.
I love my far right MAGA. So you go anywhere they are, I'm going to go there to holler at them. So that's kind of what I do. But I mean, yeah, I put him in like Ed McMahon on the couch. So I put him in the box like you are, and then we'll take a guest on top of it. So I may end up doing that.
Yeah, part of your monologue, when you do your opening monologue, have them up there with you, and you guys kind of talk about your topics, and then go into your show. Maybe try it. Who knows?
How about this one? A handsome conservative says the first co-host should be Gangsta Grandma. What say you?
It doesn't matter who. She'd be great. Listen, at the end of the day, here's the bad rap she gets. People hear her the way her delivery is, whether you agree with it or not. But if you go back and check her facts, she'd be on point.
You sound like a Trump supporter. People often say that about Trump is that you don't like his delivery, but if you look at what he's doing, now I disagree with it, and I'm sure you do too, but that is the same argument for President Trump is that if you don't focus on his delivery, you'll realize he's doing good things for the country.
No, I said go back and fact check.
Yeah, that's
if you go back and fact check Trump, that's the problem, right? Yeah. The problem is the facts. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, or have somebody on as you're having debates, have a fact checker up there. All they do is just fact check what you're talking about, so you can keep the conversation going, and they're just up there to fact check. Because here's what'll happen. Some of these people will stop bringing their ass up, unfortunately, but that's not what you're looking to do. But at the end of the day, there's too many facts missed right now. People are just talking to be talking.
Well, because I'll say in the comments real quick, the Bison Return says the handsome conservative would be perfect. Thank you, Bison. Fair, and I do agree. Handsome conservative is a really good conversation. But in regards to what you're talking about, Mike, about the facts, I think you're mainly challenged with the fact that, at least with MAGA, President Trump's statements are viewed as facts. So if President Trump says, Obama wiretapped my office, to MAGA, that's a fact. So you are going to be competing with that because you say you got to go fact check stuff. A lot of MAGA's fact checking is what Trump said. Well, see, Trump said it. There's the proof. It's a fact. So you're kind of stuck when you got to go with that.
Yeah, some of that shit is just. I mean, some of it you just can't even spend time on because it's just crazy as shit to me. I mean, batshit crazy. But we take these things as they come. Can we talk about the Iran conflict for a second?
Sure.
So there was computers fired back and forth today, right? Or
yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, they were shooting at a destroyer of all shit. Like, damn, they don't give a fuck.
Listen, well, of course. Why would they?
Well, when Trump is saying, I'll tell you why. When Trump is telling us their military has been dilapidated and their navy is at the bottom of the sea, and then you hear they're shooting at destroyers and shit, they sure ain't acting like they're wiped out.
Well, but Tim, I've been saying that the whole time. Pizza Lover, all you got to do is hit the request button, Pizza Lover. It sounds like some of y'all in the comments, boy, I don't know what it is about me, but if you want to have a conversation with me, all you got to do is request.
The receipts pisses them off. Your receipts piss them off.
I guess it does. But the funny thing is, I had that debate not too long ago, 2 days ago, about this conflict, and how could they possibly... I heard that they were defensive. So they don't have nothing.
I tell you one thing. Hold on. What's funny is while we're talking about this, News Nation has a breaking news ticker up. Says CENTCOM says 3 destroyers came under fire. So it's literally they shot at 3 destroyers. Wow. Go ahead.
With what, Tim? I thought we had completely obliterated and decimated their Air Force and their Navy, and they don't have anything. I'm using the MAGA whiny voice, but it's so funny, Tim. If they're not a threat and we could easily just go in there and end this, how come we haven't done it?
Yeah. Well, this right here also makes it clear to the world that the information coming from Trump is not trustworthy because he was talking about, what was it, Project Freedom, where we're going to escort ships through. And it's like, how the hell are you going to provide security for me when they're trying to beat your ass? If they're firing at you, I don't want you to be my escort. They're not even scared of you.
Exactly. I mean, what's the good of having a bouncer if he keep getting his ass whipped?
Right.
You're no help to me, my guy. I can get my ass whipped on my own. Yeah. It's just listen. All jokes aside, because my nephew's over there.
Yeah.
So we have put ourselves, the way the world sees us right now is probably the worst that I've seen in my lifetime. The only second was when we went over there.
Then what does Trump mean when he said we're the hottest country on earth right now?
Well, if, like not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good, it's like an old hip hop song. It's like, no, we are the hottest because nobody wants to touch us.
Yeah, to me, it kind of reminds me of the old police movies from the 70s and 80s. The guy going in a pawn shop trying to sell something. They say, this is hot. I don't want
this. Is hot.
Yeah, we're the hottest, all right? Nobody want to touch us.
And the sad part, I'll say this. The work that we have to do to get back to a semblance of normalcy is going to take over a decade. At least.
I believe
at least a decade.
And that's assuming you get a completely different government soon.
Right. But even if you get a completely different government, you literally have to go in. And I don't think you have a choice. I think you have to go in, and every single person that was hired by this administration needs to go. At every level, unfortunately.
Why does MAGA see this so differently than you?
Because most of them hate the Dems more than they care about Trump's agenda, frankly. And think about this, Tim. Think about this. In your lifetime, I remember this political process, and there were times it would get heated, but it was more about left and right policy. I never in my lifetime heard hating the Republicans are hating the Dems. We never heard Democrats and libtards, and that wasn't the climate that we came from.
Because
you didn't like the policies, right?
Because this time it's not us arguing with each other. It's coming from leadership.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. This is not normal. And in order to get to the level of normalcy, you have to back out of all of this. Now, some of them are seeing it real time. I told you that leadmaga.org. You're seeing more of that on this app. You're seeing more people disenfranchised on this app. You're seeing in rural America right now, especially in red states, they're being hammered. Of course, the right's not going to talk about it. They're being hammered. Hospitals are closing.
But how about this? Hold on. Because this is in the comments. And I talked to Gen X earlier today, and he said something similar. One of the viewers is saying, but we didn't get called Hitler because we don't agree with you. So what about the notion that the Democrats are calling Trump names like fascist and Hitler and all this stuff? And they're indicating that this is because Gen X is certain that political violence on the left is significantly worse than political violence coming from the right.
Again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. If you want to challenge why that's being said, follow the breadcrumbs. Figure out why he checks every box of fascism. Don't take my word for it. Go look up fascism and check out all the 14 tenets and ask yourself, this is the trail of ants that I was talking about, Tim. If somebody checks off, how do you make a diagnosis when you go to the doctor? If you go to the doctor and they say you have a condition, they're going based on the symptoms.
Yeah.
And you're checking those boxes. And they go, yep, he's got that. We'll do some blood work. And they'll do all the things to determine that that's what you have, right?
Yeah.
So, but these Trump supporters, instead of pushing back, go do your own analysis. He checks every single box of fascism. Well, he checks every single box of white Christian nationalists and white supremacy. They check them all, Tim. This isn't me.
Well, the problem is you're going to have MAGA's going to see some of those boxes that you check off as incorrectly checked. So, like white supremacy, folks on the right don't recognize that. They can see black racism or Hispanic. Folks on the right do not see white racism. I mean, it's got to be pretty. You got to damn near have a Klan outfit on. They don't see that.
Tim, if they don't see it, they're the problem. Listen. How many times have I come on your show, for those that never heard me do it, and read off all 14 tenets? How many times have we done that? 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Did he check off every single one of them?
When we went through it at that time, yes.
We didn't even have to exaggerate. There was no exaggeration about anything. There was no stretch. There wasn't a reach. He checks all of them. So instead of telling us he's not that thing, why don't you guys do some research and figure out why he's so closely tied to those things? I just don't understand the analogy I gave you about going to the doctor and doing your own analysis. That's what I do. That's how I come to the conclusions that I come to. I don't just say it because I just despise the man. I cannot like the man and understand the ideology. But when there's an ideology that's destructive to a large segment of this nation, we all should have a problem with that.
And see, it's just like what Pizza Lover says. He says that you're checking off this list. That's only for your checklist. My guess is if you went through the 14 tenets of fascism, a lot of the things you're checking off, folks like Pizza Lover would disagree. He would indicate that Trump doesn't fit that narrative. So a lot of things you're seeing from Trump, he wouldn't see it.
But I guarantee you he's never read them. So even for him to say that that's my own checklist, there's only one 14 tenets of fascism. They're not mine. Yeah. Like, I don't own those. Yeah. So it's not about me. Y'all need to read a little bit. And don't read anything far left. Read your party's own words. I'm going to say that one more time, Tim. Do not look at any left-wing media or anything. Just read your party's and the people in your party's own words. That's it.
They're going to like.
That's my source.
They're going to like what they're reading. I got to move it on Mike, but if they read their own party's words, they're going to like that. That's what they're cheering on at the rallies and stuff like that. They're going to like that.
Yes, but again, what they're going to do is they're going to ignore what I'm saying. Because listen, here I know why they don't want to read it, and I know you got to move on. They don't want to read it because it is really a book about who they are. Because you don't create an agenda that large if you don't have people to support it. You don't do anything on that level if you don't think you have people that want it. Right? I mean, you don't create a movie, an album, you don't write a book, or if you don't think you have people that want to read it.
There's some truth.
They didn't create Project 2025 for nothing. They created it because they know people out there think that way. Yeah. So don't be mad at the people that read. You go read. But they don't want to read it because it's a mirror. It's a reflection of their own hatred. That's all.
I'll leave it at that. Mike, as always, pleasure. Thank you very much.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you. And we will be on this weekend. So, by the way, if you enjoy this type of dialogue, open dialogue from all sides of the aisle, feel free to follow the program if you're watching on Substack, Instagram, TikTok, or Clapper. If you're watching us live on YouTube, give your boy a sub. Political violence coming from the left more than the right. This is something you hear a lot from folks on the right saying that the left is more violent. I'll say my analysis on this is it is true for two reasons. The left is more violent than the right. One reason being more people are being attributed to the left that may or may not be left. That's the first thing, is that Trump is calling out all this stuff on the left. Like, for instance, you could be a 15-year-old kid throwing a bottle through a window yelling Black Lives Matter, and to the right, that's the left. He's 15. He's not even old enough to vote. How the hell is he left? So MAGA is attributing stuff to the left that may or may not be left. Such as they would not allow you to attribute, let's say, somebody grab an African-American and tie him to the back of a pickup truck and drag him till his head comes off. They wouldn't want to call that person right, but they're calling deviants that may be minorities automatically left. Same thing with the trans community. As if Caitlyn Jenner is not a MAGA Trump supporter. All trans must be left. So I'm just simply saying that it's going to be viewed as more violence coming from the left when you're attributing all these unknown people left. We still don't know much at all about the people that tried to take Trump's life. Yet Trump and MAGA are going around saying that all these people were left. You don't know anything about these people. The government pretty much arrested that person and they've thrown him in a room and threw away the room. You don't know anything about him, but they're calling him left. Same thing with the guy who tried to take out Charlie Kirk, or took out Charlie Kirk. He didn't try, he successfully did it. Tyler Robinson, whatever his name is. They just automatically said this was a left-leaning guy. You don't know much about him at all. He had just as much, in fact, he had more stereotypical things that lean right in his life than he did left. He had a transgender associate or something like, but the guy was heavy with guns, his family's right, there's cops in his family, they're deep in religion. All of that's dismissed for the fact that he knows somebody that's trans. So it's easy to say that the left is more violent because you're just attributing everybody to the left without any evidence. I'm not saying it may not be true that these folks were left, but there's no way to know. There's no way to know in most of this stuff. The guy who was waiting on the golf course in Mar-a-Lago and a Secret Service agent spotted the muzzle of his gun, we don't know anything about that dude. Yet Trump is going around saying that's a left-wing assassin. We don't know nothing about this guy. We don't know why he was trying to put a hit out on Trump. Was he a farmer that lost his farm because of Trump's tariffs that actually voted for Trump? Was he somebody that had a business that made their income primarily off of tourism that voted for Trump? But once again, Trump's antics toward the world has made tourists stop coming here. There's a host of reasons that guy could have been right. So we don't know all of this violence that Trump is attributing to the left if it's actually coming from the left. It's just anybody that don't like him automatically is deemed as left. We don't know that. So that's the biggest reason. Second reason is this. If you had a liberal president in office, let's say you had Obama in office, and he was constantly on the internet bashing gun owners, bashing Christians, showing pictures of him dumping shit on Tea Party members and stuff like that, you would have a hell of a lot more anger and even violence coming from the right. there's not as much issues coming from the right because you're in power. You're getting everything you want. So no reason to be angry. The left are the ones that are being marginalized, bashed, and insulted by the president. If you had a right-wing president, I bet he had a left-wing president in there, gloating and bashing the Republican Party every day, different groups of the Republican, just saying all kinds of awful shit about you would have a hell of a lot more violence from the right. They got no reason to be violent right now. They're on top. So, yeah, of course you're going to see more outrage and issues coming from the right because those are the ones that believe they're getting mistreated. The right believes they're getting the country back. So the idea that there's more violence from the left and the right without taking that into context, shout out to Charlie Kirk, taking things out of context, it makes no sense. Let's get a Democrat president in there and let's have him bragging and gloating and insulting and tweeting and trolling the right like Trump does the left. I guarantee you the level of violence from the right will increase substantially. I guarantee you that. But until then, yeah, it's going to be more. There's far more people pissed off on the left. There's nothing happening to the right like that. So you got to actually take it into context. Somebody said he wouldn't last. You said they're going to kill him? So he wouldn't last. I'm just simply saying it is what it is. I mean, one side is being treated like shit by the president. We can go back and forth over who liberal citizens are arguing with and what they're saying versus what Republican citizens are. But the president leans right, and he is attacking the left in a fashion, in a way we've never seen before in the history of this country. Yet you expect the outrage from left and right to be somewhat equal? It's not. It's not going to happen like that. Anyway, looking in the comments, nobody tried to whack him because if they did, he wouldn't be here. And then, of course, yes, some folks don't believe the assassination attempts were genuine at all either. But I'm just simply saying, until we know about who these alleged assassins were, there's no way you can confidently say they're all left like President Trump is doing. And by the way, for folks who do believe calling him a fascist or a Nazi or all this other shit is leading to violence, claiming that liberals are trying to assassinate him can do that too. Claiming that the left is trying to kill him with no basis, no proof, no evidence, that can lead to that also. He shouldn't just be blaming attacks and attempts on his life on the left willy-nilly like that. That can lead to that as well. Anyway, looking in the comments, tap the screen, keep the lights on up. He wouldn't have sat there all comfortable. Yeah, there are no sides in government, only the population. Fair enough. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen with Mike the Sailor. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program. Call me like we see him. Well, in regards to President Trump's assassins, there's no way to call it like you see him. You don't know nothing about him. Mike, good evening. Mike, are you there?
Sorry, man. I didn't even know I was up here.
Sound like you fucking turn the music down, man.
Hold up, man.
Tell her to hold on for a minute.
I didn't even know I was on here. Okay. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much at all. Not much at all. When you put in the request, you want me to drop you?
Yeah, go ahead and drop me. I must have did it by accident.
All right, you go ahead and get that. All right, moving on with the program. I met over there grinding. Anyway, he had a transgender girlfriend. That's pretty left to me. Yeah, but he also had a 50 caliber handsome conservative. How many left-wing folks are walking around with 50 cals? This is what I'm talking about. You're talking about, this is the guy that successfully took the life of Charlie Kirk. You're saying he had a transgender girlfriend, so that means he's pretty left. The guy owned a 50 cal. His mom had all kinds of pictures of him on Facebook with different various guns and long rifles, to the point where when he killed Charlie Kirk, his mom went to his Facebook page and scrubbed all those gun pictures of him. He had a pastor in his family. His family had law enforcement. There's a whole lot of conservative shit about the guy. You just throw all that out the window and focus on the trans, huh? So what I'm saying is, simply put, we don't know the leanings of Charlie Kirk's assassin. There's no way to automatically know that. And from what I can tell, none of these folks, the guy that was at Mar-a-Lago waiting for Trump in the bushes or whatever, the guy who took the hit at in Pennsylvania, and even the guy who went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We don't know enough about any of these people to automatically say they're all left. You just don't. They haven't released anything about these folks. I would say Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, you've probably gotten the most information from him than any of the other ones, because he was sending text messages. And a lot of folks believe that the text messages that were released don't even look like something that would come from a 20-something-year-old. So there's not enough information here to confidently state any of these people were left. It makes sense for President Trump to say it, but I don't see where there's enough information to go around jumping up yelling all these people were liberals. Why does Grindr crash when a bunch of MAGA get together? Some of them are horny. Tamar, good evening.
What's up, Tim?
Not much at all. What do you think? All of the assassins that try to hit Trump, they're all leftists?
No, I mean, like you said, the kid that from Utah, he was definitely not a full left. I think
You talking about Tyler Robinson?
Raised right, on the right.
Yeah, you talking about Tyler Robinson?
Tyler Robinson.
Yeah.
He was raised on the right, and maybe he started leaning towards the left, but I don't even know what he was. I do agree. Those text messages was weird.
Yeah, and I'll say
this
this
coming from a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, and I'll say this, like Handsome Conservative is saying on Clapper, he says he had a transgender girlfriend that's pretty left. That making a statement like that indicates that nobody in the conservative side of the aisle has transgender girlfriends, and I don't think that's true at all.
The Kardashians' stepfather, he's a trans, and he leans to the right.
Caitlyn
Jenner. That's bullshit right there.
Yeah. I mean, just because I think that, yeah, you're right. You're Caitlyn Jenner. He voted for Trump. I think the issue is because the right is so unfriendly to trans, they just assume anybody that's trans would not want anything to do with us. But that ain't true, as you're pointing out.
Yeah. I 100% agree.
Yeah. So
it's crazy. Did you hear what he said last night about a glow threatening Iran? Trump.
No, what did he say?
When he was talking, when he called the reporter a bitch, and then he said, if they don't make a deal soon, something about there's going to be a glow, like basically like
a nuclear weapon,
threatening the big one. Yes.
I don't, something. Okay. What I don't get is we believe, according to Trump, that they were about to get a nuclear bomb. And if they had got it, they would have used it on us already, which is suicidal for Iran to do that. We got thousands of nuclear weapons. So if they get one and use it on us, they're going to get annihilated. We believe that they're fake.
With our big, beautiful ocean.
Yeah, but here's what I'm trying to say. We believe that they would use a nuclear weapon, which would get their country annihilated. We believe that they're pursuing 72 virgins. They want to be martyrs or whatever. We believe they don't mind dying for the cause. Yet somehow we also believe that if we threaten to kill them, they'll come to the negotiating table. That makes either they don't mind dying or they do. I mean, so threatening to kill them like Trump continues to do, why does he seem to think that'll work? You're saying in one sentence, they don't mind dying. And then at the same time, you seem to think that, well, if I threaten to kill them, maybe they'll come to the negotiating table. Make that make sense.
You know what? Because Trump they like the way that Trump talks. Like it makes him seem like he's a strong, tough guy. You understand what I'm saying? It's like and I guess they live through Trump because you understand you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what I'm saying, but it's not accomplishing anything. I mean, listen.
No, it's not. It's making shit worse.
Yeah, him talking tough to Congress.
MAGA reacts in the comment section.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Him talking tough to Congress and the Senate in this country, it does have some benefit. But international, it worked with the Venezuelans. It's not working with the Iranians. I don't know why he continues to think if I threaten them, they're going to come to the negotiating table.
Because he thinks that's what works. And he's always talking bad about previous leaders. How does that make us look on the world stage to other people? He thinks that makes him look funny or cool, but in our reality, that's making us look very a very dysfunctional country to other people.
Maybe he doesn't care.
Yeah, and like Mike said, it's crazy. It's going to take over 10 years to fix this damage, and he's done more damage in less than 2 years, and it's going to take over 10 years to fix this. Possibly, it might even take longer. Who wants to really work with us?
I mean,
we don't keep. Everybody knows we don't keep our word. He's already revoked the deal with Canada and Mexico. He's backed out on that. He's backed out on, of course, everything with Iran. You've screwed these people over 3 to 4 times, and you expect them to want to make a deal? Like, after you killed his father, his mother, his child, and I believe his wife. Like, you've killed like top members in his family and other family members that was in that household. After they thought they had a deal, they agreed to basically no nuclear enrichment. Thought they had a deal that was working, and look what they did.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, to me,
not real.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I don't see why Iran would trust America in regards to making a deal. I said that from day one. The minute Trump threw out the Obama deal, because look, even if you think Obama's deal with Iran was a dumb deal, as Trump said, or whatever the case may be, once you throw out that deal, because they didn't make a deal with Obama, they made a deal with America. So once you throw out that deal, like you just said, you're showing the world America's word is only as good as who's in office. And I always say, if I'm in Iran's position, I'm going to ask, how do I know if I make a deal with you, Mr. Trump, that the next president won't think it's a dumb deal and just throw it out like you did with the last guy? Once Trump did that, he showed the world that our word is only as good as who is in office. Even if it's a dumb deal, America put its signature on the line. Huh?
Yeah, why you just didn't work on it? Why you just didn't add on to that deal that was already in place? Instead of just tearing it up and just leaving nothing. And then expecting them to just, you guys better come to the table or this and that's going to happen. Like you're a sinister bad guy on a fucking movie or something.
And your point leads me to wonder about another question. One of the reasons we elected Trump is allegedly he was a great businessman. He had his own publication, The Art of the Deal. Where are all the deals at? Everything he's doing seems to be mob-like mentality. Where are the actual, what kind of deals have he worked out?
As far as that's what I asked before when he was talking about all the tariff deals. I'm like, how come there's nothing on paper? There hasn't been nothing. He's so big on signing stuff in front of people. How come he hasn't had like really nothing major? All the deals that he said, all the people that were supposed to be investing in the country, how come there's nothing on paper? You screw these people in the Middle East over, like I was saying yesterday in the comment section about the URA and what was it? What was the countries I said? Kuwait. I said it was Kuwait and.
Oh, you mean the countries that are Saudi Arabia not letting them use the airspace?
But most of those Middle East countries was supposed to be in this border peace, this bullshit ass border peace that he signed, correct?
Yeah.
A lot of these Middle Eastern countries was in our border peace, and they're the ones getting screwed over. Look at Abu Dhabi and which we call it. Those were becoming very popular tourist spots. They're done. All that money that they were making for that stuff is over.
Well, I think it's very similar with those countries, like here in America. People thought that Iran would be a pushover and believe Trump. I think a lot of those countries thought also the United States would easily be able to handle Iran. Now that Iran is fucking up their countries and they're paying the price, and Trump is still on the world stage making it sound like everything's under control, nothing to see here. When folks know things, because Iran is now releasing Lego videos saying that they actually damaged some of those U.S. ships. We're not being told that, but according to those Lego videos, they're saying they actually damaged some of those ships.
That's crazy. And you know what else, Tim? Like it's the whole thing is, damn, I just lost my train of thought. Hold on.
Yeah, but so the point I'm making is, it appears as if you believe even an inkling of the Lego videos, it appears as if what they're telling us from the Trump administration, they're not giving even the American people the whole story.
No, of course. The military bases, they were destroyed. They would destroy the bad.
Yeah, you didn't hear the detail, the 13 bases. The Iran, they have a Lego video called 13 bases. They didn't tell us about how those bases, like you said, those bases are completely obliterated, to use a word we've heard before. And the Trump administration didn't say that. They kind of made it sound like, yeah, they were hitting a few things here and there. What did Trump call it yesterday? A love tap? It sounds like they're doing a lot more damage.
And the crazy thing is, like, Iran, they can't match us militarily. So what they're doing, and they're actually winning at, is just disrupt the world's economy, and they're succeeding very good at that. And like, I guess nobody thought about that. They didn't plan about that, but they were warned, because when supposedly when BB sat in the situation room and sat there and pitched the war, there was people that was like, no, you can't. I think the General Mad Dog or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he said
Mad
it
Dog
there or afterwards. He told Trump, like, Mad Dog. He told Trump, like, you know, like, this is something that we shouldn't do. Like, this is something that Israel is famous for doing for years, and like, you know, but of course they went with it. So of course what do you think? They was along with it.
What do you think Netanyahu said? Because you're right. Netanyahu's tried to get every president in our lifetime to fuck with Iran. What do you think he said to Trump to get Trump to do it? Did he sweeten the pot? Did he offer him something? Maybe
he said, Mr. Trump, you have the biggest dong in history. And, you know, Trump takes good to flatter.
I think it was some scratch. You want Gaza or something financially. I think he offered Trump something. If you take him out, I mean, told him how you could get wealthy.
In the middle of Israel.
Yeah, I think he indicated to Trump there's some value in it.
He said, hey, boy, you want a golden statue in the middle of Israel? He said, of course, that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, so all we have to do is attack them?
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
There's got to be something, because if you think about all of the presidents, going all the way back to probably George H.W., certainly Bill Clinton, certainly Biden, Obama, all of them were told that we need to go into Iran, and they all turned him down. And somehow he found his way with Trump. And yeah, we know Trump likes wealth. And my guess is Netanyahu told him, either offered him something or told him some kind of way that he could make a ton of money out of this, and he went for it.
Yeah, and not realizing how much money this country was going to lose.
It ain't
this
him.
Guy sounds like Mike Tyson. Peace and lover. Stop being a keyboard gangster. Because if I sound like Mike Tyson, I would tell you that you sound stupid. Now that sounds like Mike Tyson. You damn fool. Stop being a keyboard gangster. Nobody respects a pussy. I told you.
Oh my God.
Nobody respects you. Because all you do is stay in the comment section talking about, oh, Tim's not going to bring me up. Yes, he would, because you're MAGA.
I would bring Pizza Lover, you can be next. You can be, if you're MAGA, you can be next. I love talking to MAGA. MAGA is preference. Yeah, Matt, you would be next.
He talks all that shit in the comment section, but he's never came up. Not once. But all he does is talk shit in the comment section.
I think
comment gangster. Nobody respects you, buddy.
I think he's put in the request by accident.
Now, how about that?
He's put in the request by accident a couple of times, and I tried to bring him up, and he dropped. So now, Peace and Love would get first dibs.
Somebody's gonna come and get him.
He would get first dibs,
and he probably can't. He probably can't handle it. But he's comfortable in that comment section. He's real comfortable over there.
Wow,
Pizza lover.
You getting him eating
Settle
alive
down,
now.
Tough guy. Nobody's being tough, buddy.
No.
Nobody's being tough. I destroy you. I eat your children. That's talking tough.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move it on. You and Pizza Lover cracking me up. Tamar, appreciate you coming through.
Tim,
real quick, go ahead.
Before you drop me, what do you actually think is going on? Remember, a couple months back, I was saying about Trump's plans for basically what's going on with this government, and I was like, they're up to something. I don't know exactly what it is. Do you see the picture being a little clearer now? What's going on with all the stuff with the elections, the purge in the military, how how to get rid of all these key figures?
Well, when it comes to the government, I do believe he's trying to skew the election in his direction, and I understand why. If Trump loses and the Democrats win in the midterms, they're going to immediately impeach him. I mean, it's just if he loses the House and Senate, which is something he cannot let happen. My guess is even if the American people were to vote in a Republican, a Democrat House and Senate, he would get Mike Johnson and whoever, I can't think of who the majority speaker is for the Senate, but he would stop them. He would get them to not swear those people in because that's his ass. I mean, the Democrats are going to go after him with an impeachment and probably criminally if they get in control. So his only thing that's going to save Trump is to win in the midterms and probably stay in power for the rest of his life. So, and I'm not saying he's going to try to run for, hold on, I'm not saying he's going to try to run for president in 2028, but he does need a successor that's going to be favorable to keeping him free. So that's the goal.
Exactly, but then he's doing this stuff in the ballroom. He's and all that stuff being built underneath.
Now I get your angle is he's trying to fortify DC because he's not leaving.
Basically, what's that movie that we were talking about? God, the movie you said you went to go see. When the president was basically he wouldn't leave, and it was Civil War. That's what it was called.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. But that was not a good movie. But yeah, I did see that. I mean, listen, if he can fortify DC and get I think there's a lot of people in the military that may not agree if he tried to do that, though. So you don't know what military personnel that's around you, if they can be trusted. You don't want to go out like Caesar. So,
but he's removing people. He's doing that stuff for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a reason why he's getting rid of these experienced, high-ranking people. He's not approving people to become generals. There's more to it that people are just not looking at.
Well, there's a backup plan, which is, I stated he needs to have a government that's friendly to him after he leaves. But what you're talking about could be the backup plan, just stay in power forever. In the comments, Darkside Rider says, Tim, can you tell tomorrow how does the ear taste? Can he bite his own ear?
It tasted delicious. And I'll do it again. He made me look like a monster in front of my children.
Tamar, always a pleasure. I gotta go.
Tim, definitely.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too, man. Appreciate it. All right, tap the screen, by the way. Get the lights on up to 85,000. Tomorrow, that was funny. What happens when the terrorists in Iran do acquire nuclear weapons and shut down the Strait? Two things you can do: pay their blackmail demands or see if they'll use the nuclear weapon. I don't think you would have got to that, though. I don't, to me, based on what I don't think Iran is anywhere near as rogue as we've painted them to be, because the rest of the world wasn't that scared of them. I think the United States, I think the only reason why the rest of the world, the NATO member nations, were so gung-ho that Iran should not obtain a nuclear weapon was because they listened to America and they depended on America being big brother to protect them. So they just were saying what America says. I don't think NATO was that afraid of Iran becoming a nuclear power. I just don't. And I absolutely do not think what Trump is saying is true, that they would have had a nuclear weapon by now and they would have used it. I don't see that. And I'll tell you why. This whole notion we've been warring with them for 47 years and they've been yelling death to America. You notice you don't hear government tell you why? They just decided out of the blue to start saying death to America for no reason at all. America was on its merry way, just being a nice, morally good leader worldwide. That's what America was doing. And this country just started saying death to America for no reason at all. You got to ask questions, folks. You got to ask questions. If we've been at war for 47 years, why? Why are they constantly targeting us? You don't hear Germany complaining that Iran's been after them. You don't hear Canada saying these are Western countries. They're not complaining. Why are they targeting us? There's more to the story and you're not being told. You're just being told that Iran just for no reason at all started acting a fool. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Looking in the comments, in the comments, Tom Cornell says you're fucking clueless, man. Help me out, Tom. State in the comments, Tom, and I'll read your comment without any editing restriction or anything. Tell me, why am I clueless? What am I getting wrong, Tom Cornell? They were poor as fuck. You know how many countries are poor? In fact, there are a lot of countries that are significantly poorer than Iran. Why did Iran just start yelling death to America? They're not yelling death to, death to France. Why America? There's 180 plus countries on earth. Why are they picking America to yell death to? A country that's thousands of miles away. Why is that? Because they handle business, like we doing now, keep going Trump. Huh? That doesn't make any sense. That's because NATO doesn't pay their full share. Only America pays parkour. Here's what I don't get. Now, I played a clip on yesterday's show. I don't know if I still have it queued up, but it was Tucker Carlson talking to Megyn Kelly. And he says something interesting. I believe I threw the clip away, so we're not gonna play it on today's show. But what he was saying is that without America's $1.5 trillion military assistance to Israel, they pretty much would be powerless. That the only reason Israel is able to do what they do is because America's completely backing them up, which made me want to ask, because somebody here is talking about NATO and things like that. We do more for Israel militarily than we do for all the NATO members. Yet you don't hear the right talking about Israel don't do shit for us. They go after all the NATO countries. They don't say nothing about Israel. We do more for Israel than we do for those NATO countries. So if the complaint is we're not going to do for people that do nothing for us, why isn't Israel at the top of the heap? Why isn't Israel getting any criticism? The same folks that are complaining they don't want to support NATO because NATO's never done anything for us are actually saying, I stand by Israel. Is there more to the story? There has to be something else there. Why is that? Because we're going to, and by the way, Israel's not even in NATO. So unlike NATO, Israel is a nation that is not even obligated to help us back. If we get into a conflict that we were attacked in, not one that we start, but if we are attacked, the NATO member nations are obligated to help. Israel is not. And when we were attacked after September 11th, Israel didn't do shit to help us out. The NATO member nations did. So I don't understand. Why is the right attacking NATO and not Israel? That makes no sense to me. Jay Sid said Israel wants to expand into southern Lebanon, start transferring its citizens to live there. Hezbollah was stopping them. Hezbollah supplied by Iran. Yeah, and that's going to be look, anytime you're on stolen land, it takes a long time for people to get used to you living there and leave you alone. It takes a long time. I mean, you think about how long, when did we become a nation? 1776? When did Christopher Columbus come here? Like 1492? It takes a long time for people to get used to you when you don't steal some. When Israel, I mean, look what's going on in there now. They don't want Israel over there. Look how long that fight's been going on ever since Israel came over there after World War II. If they start taking land, as you're pointing out, north of its country, Lebanon, all that shit, it's just going to be more wars going on for a long time. It takes a long time for people to allow you to live on stolen land and quit fucking with you. It'll be for the rest of our lives, guaranteed. Probably well into your grandkids' life. It takes a long time to get people to accept that. So if they started expanding northward, it's just going to keep the drama in that area going for a long period of time. Israel has no intentions of even putting boots on the ground in Iran. I don't get their love. Well, I'll tell you the answer on Israel. We had a whole show on it yesterday. It's biblical. It's biblical. There's a lot of people in this country that believe helping Israel is something that is required by God. So it doesn't matter what Israel does. If you believe you're answering the call from God, you're just going to do it. It's biblical. That's what it is, which is why Israel can do whatever the hell they want, get involved in any conflict that happens, and we got to go run to their aid because you got a large portion of this country that believes that God is saying stand with them. And some folks don't even believe it should be judged on what they do. Stand with them in a genocide. You still got to stand by them. According to God, you gotta honor the genocide. I mean, you just don't know. But currently, the right is in charge. That's where you find most of your evangelicals and far right Christians that are going to have that mindset. And they're in charge. So they're going to support using the military to defend Israel, kind of no matter what. Kind of no matter what. Most of the world does not think Israel is acting responsibly in response to October 7th. But in America, the folks on the right think what Israel is doing is okay. So it's biblical. That's why we're standing by Israel, even though they're draining us financially. They're not helping us when we need help. And we're going after NATO. NATO has been far more supportive to America than Israel has. But we're going after NATO. Going back to the box, we'll go to Sexy Red. Good evening. Welcome to the pro. Iran doesn't have nukes. No, they don't. And we don't want them to get them, so we're willing to kill them to prevent that. Sexy Red, good evening.
So, before I terrorize your ugly ass muppet, okay? I gotta say something. You did lose your mama, right?
Yeah.
I am truly sorry for your loss. And I know
that ain't nothing recent, though. She's been gone for a few years.
I know that. So what? It's still Mother's Day. Yeah. If I do, remember her, so I was going to tell you that I am truly sorry, and you're not alone.
Thank you.
You feel what I'm saying?
I'm going to have to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and get a picture of my mom. So every time you start talking shit, remember my mom. I'm going to start holding a picture of my mom.
Be quiet now. I was being nice for 2.2 seconds.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. You got gangster grandma to be good.
I don't talk about dead people.
Thank you.
But let me tell you something with your Uncle Ruckus.
So wait. You said you don't talk about dead people. So when Trump passes, I'm going to remember that.
No, he's the devil. He's the white tea devil. I'm going to celebrate with tequila and everything. You feel what I'm saying?
No, I don't. You shouldn't celebrate a dead man.
I know you are Uncle Ruckus, Ratty Raccoony, everything under the book. I swear, Tim, you know what, Tim? They are really trying to put us back in the Jim Crow era. They really are. And you are still trying your best to be nice to the mofos. Like, you know, and people even saying if you still like Trump after what he's doing to black and brown people, taking away their votes and stuff, wiping all the progress that we did out. You're racist.
First of all, they don't believe Trump is doing anything. And Giant Robot, thank you for the hat and mustache. They don't believe Trump is doing anything to black and brown people.
You know why? Because they're racist. Deep in their soul, they are racist.
Damn.
Do you think a racist? They're not doing it that way because they're racist. They believe what he's doing because they are a racist.
No.
I tell you, like Virginia, right? They're thinking that they won. But it's going to go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court's going to say we can do it because guess what? Virginia did it legally. They said no to Texas, and then they said, oh, you can do it now. We're fighting it. We are fighting it. When Texas did it, California did it. We're going to go and take all of it. Going to be straight blue. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm so sick. And then you over here paying like, oh, yes, I might be loved maggots. They are screwing us, Tim, on some real shit. They voted for this shit. And one that went the hell off the other day, he even said he liked what they did. That tells you that they are a racist. The whole state is red. Memphis is black. And now it's going to be a white Republican?
Yeah.
That's racist.
It ain't good. It ain't good. But I mean, but the Democrats are doing it in some areas that are all white too, though.
They're doing it because of what they're doing.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not disagreeing with you, and that's why I said I believe that with the election going the way it is, where people are gerrymandering everywhere, I believe that no matter
And
who.
you see how Marcus said, "Ha ha, yeah, you white trailer trash ass." But see, what's gonna come to you is, see, we're not our ancestors.
Hold on, let me just say, hold on, let me say, because Stevie D asked to come and he said, but it's okay for Dems to do it. First of all, Trump did it out in the open. That's the first thing.
And Texas did it first. Did not Texas do it first? And what did our governor say? If you do it, we're going to do it. We used to go high when you motherfuckers went low. Now we're playing with the pits, bitch. We're taking you motherfuckers down.
Yeah, I really think that even if Trump wanted Texas to be gerrymandered, what he should have did was contacted Governor Greg Abbott privately. You should not announce to the public, I'm going to gerrymander the state of Texas. Even if you want to say the Democrats, no president should do that publicly.
I want 5 seats, and Texas did it. Yeah. Right out in public. And then you don't think, see, you always thought that the Democrats were going to be punks, and we wasn't going to do nothing. But guess what, bitches? We're going to the pits of hell.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
We're not our ancestors, okay?
I think
we're going to fight you 100%.
I think Trump could have had a lot more success in many areas if it wasn't for him running his mouth all the time. You should not announce publicly that you're trying to gerrymander. He should not have done that out loud. That's just not a smart thing to do.
You know what it is? He's a weak-ass white trailer trash man. That's what he is. He's weak.
He lives in a penthouse. What are you talking about?
He's a saltine that don't like black and brown people. He wants this place to be so white, and it's never going to be white. And what he's thinking that everything is going to be okay if he gerrymanders everything. But see, it might backfire, though. Because we don't go to the polls. And guess what? We're going to flip some of those reds to blues again. Because what goes around comes around. Karma. See, you see how? And I'm not even being mean.
I know. It happened to MAGA.
It is your people.
It happened to MAGA Reacts. He was my first caller, and he got a warning like that. So
they're reporting. You know what? You guys are punks. And you're not hurting me because this is my backup page. You're hurting Tim because every time he gets reported, it's going to take his eye down.
What I may have you do, I do appreciate you supporting the program, but I may have your call-ins come from Instagram because it's kind of immune to this.
I want to start going to Instagram. I'll still come over and support.
Yeah, because they can't report you. Hold on, they can't report. Hold on. They can't report a non-caller. If there is no caller up there, if you're talking on Instagram, there's no caller in the box. There's nothing to report. So we can avoid it.
I'll be up there like starting whenever you go back. Yeah. I want to say this though, Tim. They so po. They came and get. I did $20 today on your thing. I gave you 20 hats.
Thank you.
Think these redneck motherfuckers gonna do that? No, but they like to report though because they cheat. They cheat.
And I do appreciate that. I haven't solicited the hat mustache goals today, but
it's people reporting because like yesterday or the day before, they said somebody reported me. Now they're starting to tell you who's reporting. It's somebody or it's TikTok. TikTok will send it to a class. Somebody is reporting me because it says that somebody is reporting me for harassment and bullying.
I'm really surprised that TikTok does, because none of the other apps do that. You can come on Instagram and say whatever the hell you want.
And look at this guy said, I stopped taking my man's money. I have my own money, bitch. I don't have a man. You know what I mean? So it's my money. I do what the hell I want to with my money.
Well, I do appreciate you supporting the program. So
but you know what, Tim? At the end of the day, this place is racist. This place is racist. United States is racist. Now, whoever stays with this man, knowing what they just did to the black and brown communities, they don't have a voice in Tennessee and stuff. They just did. Now they're going to go and get an emergency hearing and stuff. And now they're doing it in Florida. If you guys don't think that's not racist, then you're racist.
Could it backfire, though? Like, you know something?
Oh, you know what, though? Knowing the United States and the people are mad as hell, even our white allies, they big mad because everything's going on. It might backfire. It might backfire. And then guess what? You fucked around, you found out.
Mark is saying, Mark is indicating that you please move to a country of your choice. He wants you out of America.
Well, I was brought here by my ancestors was brought here by slavery. Why don't you take your white tea ass back to Europe? Because when Europe kicked you motherfuckers out, right? You guys wasn't the brilliant and the baddest. You guys was the dumb fucks of Europe. You guys brought cholera. You guys did so much shit over there. They didn't even want your asses. So you thought you came over here and you guys did everything you could to the natives, and the natives tried to help you, but then you slaughtered them, and then you gave them some fucking nasty diseases. Damn. You took their land and stuff. So, well, what? So I think your asses need to go back.
That's a
and if I ever was president, Tim, if I ever was president, I would ship their asses back. I really would.
Don't start that.
I promise you, I'll tell her, I don't want the trash no more. Okay? This is black and brown community all day. Leave my natives here, leave my Mexicans here, leave everybody here. But the white tea man, go back.
Oh my God! You realize how? Do you realize what America would be like if there were no white people here? I mean, they
we have barbecues, we have fried chicken, we have a watermelon in peace. We don't have to worry about pew pew in our schools. We don't have to worry about the colonizers. We don't have to worry about going into the mall and being unalive. We don't have to worry about none of that. We'll be free.
What about all the civilization and inventions that came from the white man?
Okay, can we break this shit down? Can we please break this shit down? And I'm being nice about this as heavenly I can. You feel what I'm saying?
Before we break it down, let me make sure you understand. There are plenty of neighborhoods where it's almost 100% black and there are no white people there, and they're not getting along with each other very well. But go.
I didn't say we wouldn't be getting along all the time, but she'll be more peaceful. And what you talking about?
You really think so?
Let me break this shit down. A lot of the inventions that the so-called white man did, it was the black people that did it. It was the black people that did it. They just stole it. Because they assumed that, you know what I mean, we didn't have to fight them. So they stole the shit. You feel what I'm saying? It's all up in history. The white tea man don't want the history talk about. But a lot of the inventions the black people did. So miss me with the bullshit, what the white tea man did. The colonizers. What do you think they're doing right now to Venezuela? They're trying to colonize it. Okay? They're trying to rip up people's things. They didn't want the United States over there. We can't use their oil. We can't. So what is, guys? Too much salt and shit in it. You feel what I'm saying? They're trying to colonize Iran. I can't even say it right, but that's how I say it.
That ain't gonna work. You're not gonna colonize a country that big.
Yeah, they're trying to do that over there. It ain't working.
That ain't gonna work.
They're trying to steal everything. They're showing you what the white tea man's all about. We're at WAR that we shouldn't even be over there for. Why are we over there? For what? We cannot do the Strait of the Moose or whatever the hell you call it. That's not ours. We're not going to take it. So why are we over there?
Well, I was told that they were developing a nuclear bomb and they were in danger.
You know what? If he would have kept a black man thing, they was going by it. They was going by it. But because a black man did it, he didn't want that. He hated Obama so much that he undid everything Obama did. He gutted Obamacare, ACA. He gutted that. Everything that black man did, he undid. Now, if you don't think that's not racist,
well, he certainly is not a friend of Obama. I think we can totally understand.
Because he hates him. Why? Because of the color of his skin. Because of, that's a black man. He's popular more than a black man. Oh my God, Trump. He's the most hated. People are going to be in the streets when he unalives. Obama, people is going to be crying.
No. That would be terrible.
I'll put $100 on it. It's gonna be dancing in the streets all around the world.
You expect people to celebrate when Trump dies.
Only the racist ones likes Trump.
You expect people to celebrate when Trump dies.
People are going to. There ain't no doubt. I put money on it. People are around the world. People are going to do it. Nobody is liking him. He's the most. me. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Tim, you got to realize that these people don't like us, Tim. And you over there fluffing with them. You over there talking so much good shit when they are really stabbing us in the back. When you're up here and they're saying, yes, that's a good thing what they're doing. They're racist, and you're just keep cocktail with them. And they'll say, no, we're not racist. Yes, you are. When you cannot even say that shit's not racist.
Wait, let me make sure I'm getting clarity. You believe that every single Trump supporter, 100% of MAGA, are racist?
The ones that did not leave. The ones that are sticking with him now, knowing all the shit is going down to the black and brown community, and saying about the voting, yes, they're racist. What's his name? The one that came up today? He's a racist. You know what? That was the fucking craziest thing. He hurt my brain today.
MAGA reacts.
At his table. Yeah, MAGA reacts. He's a racist. You know what? You're never gonna be at my table. That's a prison thing. You fucking cornball motherfucker, you. Are you special ed dropout for real? Let me break this shit down to you. The white man, the poor trash that voted for him will never be at his table. They shun you, you stupid asses. They shun you. A black man will never be at his table. They shun us.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
None of us.
I don't buy that MAGA reacts as racist, though. I don't believe that.
Oh, be quiet, Ken. Get his cock out of your mouth, you know what I mean? It's uncooked. You might get salmonella from the little Vienna sausage. Oh, he's very much racist. Oh, he is, yes. Just because you don't think he is very much racist. Yes, he is.
Stevie,
he's still standing with him. Somebody, like, for me, if anybody said somebody else was racist, okay? They said somebody was racist, and I was like their friend. I'll get away from them because I'm not racist.
What if you believe they were being mislabeled?
He is a racist. Donald Trump is racist. You can't. He showed us from the beginning of 2016. He showed us when he didn't let black people get into his condos. He showed us when Central 5, when it was white men that did it, not the black boys. He showed us and didn't even ever say he was sorry about that, Tim. Then he showed us all up and down in 2016 about Mexicans bringing over the grapists and stuff when the main ones are the white man. Then he showed us on this one how all the Africa is a shithole and how he's taking he's taking black and brown people out of here, but not one white man out of here. And then bringing in South Africans that they want to go back home because it's too damn expensive over here. So miss me with the beer. And then the judge today even called him a racist. Well, he did everything. The DOGE shut was racism.
I'll leave it at that.
So miss me with the big ass shit that he is not racist.
I gotta move it on, but I asked your question in a poll. I'm interested to see what the answer is.
What? Well, you know what, Tim? At the end of the day, he's a racist, and whoever's sticking with him, they're racist, and you like them because you still talk to them, and you're a black man. Quit drinking the bleach.
I gotta go. No bleach. No bleach. Looking in the comments here, he doubled down when they were exonerated. Look, yeah, he's done some things. He's said some things that I can understand why people would say he's racist. Does that mean he absolutely is one? History will tell. History will tell. But yeah, Trump has said and done some things that I do question, like, why would you say that if you're not a racist? I mean, he's gotten involved in a few things here and there. I mean, his social media account, things have come from his social media account that look suspect. So I'll just look at it like this. And I see in the comments, what's that says, history has already told us he's racist. Well, I'll just say it like this. I mean, there are people in this country that like Trump. There are people in this country that hates Trump. He's doing what works for him. Here's another thing. I'll say it like this. If I'm going to defend Trump and try to indicate that he's not racist, I would do it by saying he is an opportunist. Because at the end of the day, none of us know what's in the man's heart. None of us know what's in his heart. I believe that Trump may be an opportunist as opposed to a racist. An opportunist being, I'm going to cater to, I'm going to campaign to whoever has the best chances of helping me get elected, helping me get where I want to be. He ran as a Republican. Now, he did cater to blacks for a minute. There's Black MAGA that exists. He's talked to blacks, vote for me, whatever you got to lose. All of this stuff came from Trump. He's also catered to racists. There's no denying he's done that too. I personally believe that he's going to go with the largest group that will help him meet his goals. And when it comes to the Republican Party, which does have blacks in it as well, does have minority voters that are Republican as well. But I do personally believe there are more people in the Republican Party that do not like blacks than are black. I think they have more anti-black people than they have black people themselves. So if you're an opportunist and you're going to cater to the group with the largest, then you're going to cater to the anti-black people. It's more anti-black people in the Republican Party than there are black people in the Republican Party. And I do believe Trump does cater to those folks. I mean, he does say things, the stereotypes that, people, that the anti-black people believe, blacks are lazy, they steal, all of the negative stereotypes. He does cater to a lot of that stuff. So folks are going to say he's a racist. And I understand why they're saying it, because you're saying things that the racists say. Alter Ego, appreciate the galaxy. Thank you very much. Takesha Bowie, you tried to tell him nicely. What did she try to tell me? Trump is going to do to America what he done to his businesses, bankrupt this country, buy America. Damn. Yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you this also. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of folks on the right that are, I was going to say white, but blacks too, to be honest with you. A lot of folks on the right do not see racism when blacks are the victims of it. They don't see it. If you talk to Tim Scott or Byron Donalds or Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, racism ended a long fucking time ago. They don't see it. They do not see it when blacks are the victims. Now, they can absolutely tell you how the country has become anti-white. They can see that. It's just that a lot of folks on the right do not see blacks as victims of racism, even when it's obvious. Now, like I said, in the case of Joe Biden, vote for me or you ain't black, they saw Biden as a racist clear as day. But Trump can say they're eating cats and dogs, post pictures of Obama's as monkeys. They don't see any racism in that. But vote for me or you ain't black, that's boom, the light comes on. So some people are picking and choosing when they want to see racism. I'll just say that because Trump went way above and beyond vote for me and you ain't black. I mean, he's said and done some stuff that is really suspect. It's some things that are very difficult to defend, and we've covered them here. Looking in the comments, that's because their pockets are lined with cash. Could be that. Absolutely could be that. That's a great point, Tim. They still bring that up about Biden. Yeah. If all Biden has to say is vote for me and you ain't black, and that's racist, MAGA can see that, you don't see any of this other shit? Really? The whole "my heart goes out to you" thing, there's that meant something. You can see multiple different angles for all of this other stuff, all of the Charlie Kirk quotes, all of that stuff. You can find ways to dismiss it, but vote for me and you ain't black, that is racism, clear as day. Take it with a grain of salt. That's all I can say. Selective comprehension. That's a good response for it. Good response. Red Hawk says it's a gossip channel. Yeah, feel free to gossip. I'll read your comment. I'm a hardworking construction worker. I don't support Trump. We were even warned on this show to watch our language, our risk of being removed, yet she is free. Who got warned on this show? I've never heard anybody on YouTube being warned. I haven't heard anybody. You're the first I've heard say that. Unless you're threatening to harm somebody. If any other president did what Trump is doing, people would have a field day on both sides. I believe that's true. I really do believe that's true. He loves the USA. That's all you need to know. I think the right tends to believe they have a patent on determining who loves the country or not. Because that's where you hear all of the "they hate America" comments coming from. Is on the, you don't hear liberals talking about people hate America. It's generally the right claiming people hate America and telling people, "Well, go to another country and get out." I mean, I don't know. Does the right have this? The right seems to have this mindset that only we know what it means to be a patriot and what it means to love your country. There's a whole lot of Democrats that have served. A whole lot of Democrats that have died for the country. So I don't know where this notion that Democrats hate the country and the right loves it all of a sudden comes from, but the right does seem to have that mindset. Tim, what does he mean when he speaks of pure blood and vermin? Wow. It's hard to spin that. I'm trying. It's hard because that's a Hitler-esque quote. I mean, that came directly from the Fuhrer himself. So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to find another form of context, but that's a quote. That's a Mein Kampf like quote. So shit. I mean, how many of Jay-Z's lyrics you gotta spit before I say that sounds like Jay-Z? I mean, vermin. Put it this way: calling somebody a vermin is not positive. Even if you take Hitler out of it, it's a negative connotation about a group of people, period. Calling people vermin and sitting there poisoning the blood of the country and all this stuff. It's demonizing a whole group of people. At its best, at its worst, it's Hitler-esque racism. At best, you're demonizing those folks by calling them vermin and saying they're poisoning the blood of the country. Go figure. I mean, if you're really talking about people poisoning the blood of the country, you can start with George Washington. When we came here, we changed this country fundamentally from what it used to be. We didn't assimilate all the stuff they say you should do now. We didn't do any of that stuff. So if you want to talk about poisoning the blood of the country and all that, being vermin, we would have been the original vermin. The settlers that came here from England, we were the original vermin. We were the original poison blood of the nation, because we've completely changed the nation to the point where the natives have literally little to no footprint on the country at all anymore. I mean, you gotta literally go looking for them to find what their footprint is. So, it's selective outrage in my opinion. It cost me $10,000 at the hospital when my kid was born, and that ain't about to change. Tim, you looking more like Jay-Z. Is that hair I see growing on your head? It grows out a little bit. Maybe I need to shave. I don't know. I got one of them fucking electric razors. You get the Gillette, the Mach 3, which is what I used to use. You get a closer shave, so it is what it is. Maybe I have to go to the Mach 3. Somebody else pointed that out. I don't know. Shouldn't be nothing you see in there. Satan likes the LGBTQ. Bill Clinton and removing God off their platform. Yes, very Democrat voters. Satan likes the LGBTQ. If you believe, Rudy, that Satan likes the LGBTQ, then it's pretty obvious you hate the LGBTQ. You can't say I have hatred towards that community more than what you just said. That's a perfect example of somebody indicating that they have hatred in their heart towards a group without coming out and saying I have hatred in my heart towards a group. Nobody goes around saying they like Satan, right? So you just admitted you hate him. So you can, and I'm sure in your daily life you would deny up and down you have any problem with the LGBTQ community, yet you're online saying stuff like that. That's hatred. That is what's called hatred. In Native Americans didn't buy this land. They were all exploited from different areas. Many of them didn't survive. Others came. Nobody purchased the land. No, they just took it by force. Let me go back to the box. I don't hate the LGBTQ. I just disagree with it. Well, you're also not saying it's connecting them to Satan either, like the other guest did. If you think they're Satan, nobody likes Satan. If you believe that, then you hate him. Martin says in Luke 1734 and 36, there were two women grinding at the mill. One was taken, one left, glory to you and only you, Alpha and Omega. I don't know what to do with that. What are you using, biblical verses to be anti-LGBTQ or something? If you can convince the lowest white man, I've heard this one, Lonely Therapy says, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. He'll give you something to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. I can see a little similarities to that in modern time. Now, let me go into the box. He doesn't even know what grinding means. I know what grinding means. What do you mean I don't know what grinding means? And I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. And by the way, Hanson Conservative, you said I don't hate the LGBTQ. I just disagree with them. You don't normally have people who admit hate. I'm not saying you do hate the LGBTQ, but understand, most people that do have hate in their heart will tell you they have no hate in their heart. You don't meet many people that say, hi, my name is John, I'm a racist. Most of them deny that. Even the Klan denies it. They say, oh, we're just here for the promotion of the white race. There's a reason why they wear hoods and masks and shit. Because in their day life, they're going around telling people they don't hate anybody. They don't admit it. None of them admits it. Very few people that are racist admit they're racist. They cover up and they hide in the shadows. And when they're confronted, they deny that that is even the case. So guess who lives in government housing married to an immigrant? Oh yeah, Trump. Huh? So it's safe to say that Trump has all of the makes of a classic racist. I don't know about all the makeups of a classic racist, but I'm not going to exonerate him from it. I mean, he does seem to do things that are racially oriented quite often. It ain't like, vote for me or you ain't black is what the right will point out on Biden. And then when you say, well, give me something else, they got to go all the way back to the crime bill, which was back in 94. If you ask somebody, give me something on Trump that's racist, and whatever they say, give me something else, they're going to give you a whole bunch of recent shit. I mean, they're going to give, you can probably spit off 5 to about 20 things he's done and said in the last 10 years. You're not going to go all the way back to the 94 crime bill on President Trump. There's a lot of stuff he's done that is worthy of commenting on recently. So big difference. Before I move on here, they cover it up until they were caught. Yeah. So anyhow, folks, I do got to step away. I got something going on. I'm actually going to see if I can do a later live. I got to step away for about an hour or so. So if you want to tune in later on, if you want to follow the program, some of you newer viewers, give your boy a sub, etc., etc. But I do got to step away for a minute. So it's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I got to go briefly. And thank you. I don't know what that just did, but thank you. That poll was not looking good for President Trump in terms of whether or not